Oh my god, y'all are so fast. How are you doing? What's today? It's Friday. Oh my god. And some Saturday for you guys. How nice. Yeah. Yeah, but you guys gonna enjoy the weekend. Yeah. Well, today's my Friday, technically. Well, no. I'm about to say it's my Sunday. What the hell? It's my Sunday. So I have to go to work tomorrow. While you guys enjoy your weekend. But that's okay. That's okay. Y'all can spend time with me today. Here. Yeah. I guess what we're gonna play today. We're gonna do a continuation of Inhuman Resources. I have played this, I think a couple months ago, and it does involve a pretty dark story, a dark turn, if you will, of, our MC getting into something that they cannot get back out. And I think it involves lobotomy. Yeah, so there are some trigger warnings there. If you don't like the sounds of screaming people or lobotomy, this is your time to mute the stream. Sorry, gotta look for work errands, but have fun. Hopefully I'll be back on the stream. But no, you're good, Martini. Gumbum work, fighting. Please be safe if you're moving around and traveling. It's nice to see you. Thank you so much for the lurk. So, yeah, we're getting right back into it. I think last time, just a little recap. What happened was, our main character got into something that they, couldn't say no to, I guess. They needed a job, and our aunt literally got us into a company that is very suspicious and smells very, 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 very heavily of cleaning supplies when you first walk in the door, and you hear screaming. You see this big guy that you're interviewing, and he's like, just sign this contract right here. We'll be on our way. Just your number one rule is to don't tell anybody else what's happening here. And you're like, okay, well, I need the money, so I guess I'll take it. So that's kind of like the story so far, and we're doing the continuation where we're getting back into our apartment after the so-called interview with a suspicious company. But I guess we gotta survive somehow. We gotta make some money. We gotta eat. So if we also don't want to be lobotomized, I guess we have to follow the rules according to the story. So the game is called Inhuman Resources, if you guys want to check it out. I kind of downloaded the demo the first time, and then I looked into it. I looked into like the reviews a little bit without spoiling myself. I looked into the trailer kind of for it, like a getting trailer for it, and I'm like, I feel like this will be a very, very cool story to go through because it's a literary machinery. I don't know English, but it's kind of like Stanley Parable if you guys played it before, where but this one is heavy on text, I gotta say. So if you like to use this chance to put me in your background as an ASMR or even a audiobook, this is your chance to do that. Because there would be a lot of reading, but there's also awesome voice acting in this game. So without further ado, let's continue on to the game. Okay, I'm gonna move myself here because of course it didn't pick up the game. Hold on. There you go. Let me get my legs out of the way. Oh no, that's there you go. When is it? This one. Yes. Okay. The nervous breakdown. I could technically make the text a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. Text size. Make it big. A little bit big. Or bigger. How big can we get? This is how big we can get. Cool. This is how big we can get. Okay, I think you guys can see it now. The nervous breakdown. You're back in your apartment, but you're not sure how you got home. Probably because your brain is full to bursting with things you never wanted to know. Smyrna Corp. Doppelgangers. The fact Burgard expects you to arrive at 6 a.m. tomorrow and learn even more. It's just too much. For a moment, you contemplate, physically, clawing out the knowledge festering inside your skull, but the intrusive thought evokes a far too vivid, too visceral memory of what was happening to Emiliano. And it's what might happen to you next, should you choose to disobey. In the end, you do the only thing that makes sense. You don't turn on the lights, don't collapse into your bed and cry, don't indulge whatever modest vices normally get you through each day. You merely toss your phone onto the counter, rush into the bathroom, drop down to your shaking knees, and void the contents of your stomach into a familiar bowl of porcelain. Oh my god. Yeah, there are sounds, okay? Just like, as per usual, vomiting is both relief and agony. It burns your throat, knots your stomach, makes you wish you were dead. Yet the pain provides distraction from the horrors of the day. A shame you haven't eaten much. The distraction would have lasted longer. Wiping strands of puke-tinged saliva off your chin, you go to the wash to your filthy face and brush the bile off your teeth. It's bad for enamel, dentists claim. However, upon witnessing your reflection in the mirror, you freeze. A sagging, gaunter, hollowed-eyed shadow of the person you used to know stares back. Let me know if it's too loud, too. It's enough to make you wonder if you've also been replaced. Okay, so this is where we get to choose, and whatever actions we choose, it will affect the story, right? So, physical faculty. I feel like this would affect us in a negative way. Break the mirror and destroy that unrecognizable stranger. This is too much. Leave and go cry yourself to sleep. Replacement victims get their skulls sewed open for search for signs of lobotomy scars. I feel like part of me wants to just like leave and go cry yourself to sleep, but I'm so curious to see what this will do. I feel like if I do this, the break the mirror and destroy that unrecognizable stranger will lead to me becoming non-human, if that makes sense. Save this. That's inventory. Does it automatically save? I guess it does. Well. I feel like we're gonna go in anyway, so it's all in or nothing, you know? Hey, it's Godzilla! Welcome in! Hello! Happy Friday. Happy Friday. You got that right. Firing lasers. How you doing, Godzilla? How's your Friday doing? Hope you got some good rest. I'm doing okay. For some reason I had some weird ass dreams these past few days, but I just don't remember what it is. All I remember is that I'm like switching locations every few seconds, and it's kind of driving me crazy. When I wake up, I'm like, what the hell did I just dreamt of? Doing okay? That's good to hear. That's good to hear. I hope you're into some reading today, because that's what we're doing today. we're continuing the Inhuman resources. Involves lobotomy, involves psychological horror. You know, our favorite. And if you're down to listen to an audiobook, hello, I'm the audiobook narrator. How you doing? Oh, you started a new job on Monday. Oh my god. That is awesome. Wait, I'm so happy for you, Godzilla. Congrats for getting a job. Hell yeah. I'm glad you found something cool. Is it the one you were talking about where you were waiting for them to contact you? I hope you have a wonderful experience at your new job, and I hope you get to learn a lot of new things even, and get to know people around, and actually, you know, like, I hope it's a very healthy environment for you to work in. So, you're thriving. You're thriving. I'm so happy for you. Enjoy your weekend before, you know, your Monday, and I hope you will have a great first day of work on Monday. Alright, so I feel like if we decide to go into this head on, we might as well just fuck it. Break the mirror, destroy that unrecognizable stranger. Glass shatters as your knuckles crunch through your reflection skull. Shards tingle as they shatter across the bathroom tile. Others burn as they sink into the flesh of your fist, turning it into a trembling, glittering pincushion. It hurts. A lot. Maybe, I don't know, honestly, I've been contacted and interviewed by a few jobs by now. Well, that's the process, right? Like, you're going through it, like, you know, you have to, like, apply, like, a bunch of them in a day. But I'm so proud of you for putting that effort in, because finding a job itself is already a job, to be honest. Like, job hunting is no joke. It's very physically demanding, and it's very, like, mentally demanding as well. So good for you for going through it, and someone actually, you know, going through the process with you, and now you're starting a new job. So don't stop grinding, you know. Find that job that you like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you just gotta go find it. But I'm so glad that you're able to find a job. Really am happy for you. I know it's very, very hard, and it's it kind of sucks, because, like, you kind of have to deal with the rejection stuff, you know, being like, okay, well, fine, if you don't want me to work in this job. And then you kind of, like, go on, and that's why it's very mentally draining. So good for you. Good for you for keep on going, Godzilla. I'm proud of you. You're pretty sure you nicked a ligament, or did permanent damage to a finger, but at least you don't have to look at that face anymore. One by one, pluck the razor-sharp bits of glass from your hand, washing them down the sink. You wrap your fists in a towel and leave to search for a first aid kit. As you navigate the unlit apartment, you sidestep stacks of trash and laundry by memory alone. You haven't tidied up in a long time. The placement of each garbage landmine is familiar enough to be subconscious, and that's what lets you realize that something is wrong. The floor is squeaky clean against your feet. Your bedsheets snugly pulled and fitted. The musk of shame and body sweat replaced by one of ammonia. In a panic, you flip the light switch and your suspicions are confirmed. Someone broke in while you were gone, and they cleaned the place. Missing stat. Okay, so I can't get to whatever that is. So we have two options then. Find out if anything was stolen. You might uncover the intruder's intentions. It's not safe here. Call a friend to ask to stay over for the night. I have a feeling that if we're going head on, they won't actually do anything to you in the beginning, except mess with you a little bit. Like, to find out that, like, to let you know, like, yeah, we got our eyes on you, so don't you dare do anything stupid, right? But if I call a friend, that friend will be in trouble, so we're not gonna do that, even though, you know, that seems very tempting to definitely find a company to help with ease the scariness of the whole situation. But I'm not going to risk my friend's life to do that, so we're gonna find out if anything was stolen. You might uncover the intruder's intentions. We're gonna do social aptitude. No crime is committed without motive, no matter how innocent or esoteric. You rush around the apartment, emptying drawers and searching closets for signs of meaningful absence. The process is almost therapeutic since it restores a sense of disheveled chaos to your living space. No, yeah, you're kidding, Chocolate. Honestly, I've been unemployed for almost 2 months now. Like, I've been saving up. You know, it is a very, very hard time, especially now. And, like, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, and the people, you know, like, you have to deal with people saying, like, oh, why don't you just do this for now? And it's like, well, I'm trying, I'm looking, I'm applying. It's really not that easy, and not only do you have to deal with, you know, people saying shit like that, and especially, like, some of them are even worse, like your own family members saying shit like that, and they don't understand how much effort and energy you put into just to look for a job alone. That is not an easy feat. But I am very, very happy that you were able to find a job. So, oh yeah, thank you for the 3 stream streak. You're awesome, Godzilla, and I really appreciate you dropping by and saying hi, even though you're going through, you know, that challenging time, and being able to be, you know, very positive in the chat as well. I really do appreciate your time, Godzilla, and you know, I hope that my stream can somehow bring a little bit of that, like, positiveness into or entertainment in a little bit, you know, of time in your life. Hopefully it helped a little bit. You know, I'm not always here every day, but I'm here like once or twice a week. Not much, but hope you do enjoy the stream, and hope it takes, you know, it takes your mind off a little bit of some stressful things that happens. You know, I'm here to entertain. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to make people feel better, hopefully. Alright? So it means a lot that I see a lot of friends come back and be like, hey, how you doing? Nice to see you. I'm like, oh my god, yes. But you know what I mean. Alright. Okay, so that's scary. I mean, like, am I mad that someone came into my house and cleaned my space when my space looks like a trash place? No, not. In fact, if they're doing it for free, I don't mind, you know. A few things are indeed missing all over the place, but not your most valuable possessions. Only your smaller, more mundane treasures. Stranger still is the fact they've all been replaced. Your favorite snacks in the pantry have been swapped out for bland, brandless equivalents that should have been discontinued decades ago. Works of art with striking aesthetics were exchanged for soulless alternatives. Most avant-garde philosophy textbooks from the 70s, and any clothing in your closet that was remotely bold or provocative has been taken out, to make way for multiple copies of the same black acrylic turtleneck. Uniforms for your new job. It's scary how this company moves so fast. And they don't play around. Don't think much of it. Just supporting my favorite spooters. It means a lot. It means a lot, Godzilla. And it's hard to be like, oh, I can't think of it that way. But, like, you know, like, people have lives and people go through things. So it's very nice of you to still stop by and say hi and support. I really do appreciate it. You know? It appears your employer hasn't replaced you with someone else yet, but they did replace all material elements of your individuality with items that better align with the company policy. They want you to become a puppet. wear the same thing, talk the same way, communicate in a way, and most important of all, being very, very loyal. It's like their top most important thing for you to do. They want to make sure that you have no silly ideas in your head, you know what I mean? Because it is, again, like I said, psychological horror. Let me stretch real quick. Okay. So, yeah, this is kind of scary. Your skull throbs as you contemplate methods to escape, but every option you come up with feels more futile than the last. Leaving the country and changing your name likely wouldn't be enough to wriggle out some Smyrna corpse grasps. Unaliving accomplishes nothing if doppelgangers can replace you, considering betrayal by leaking company secrets. A pinprick of green flashes beneath your palm as the Smyrna Corp ID chip reacts to your controversial thoughts. Oh, that is crazy. It reacts to your thoughts? That's insane. Okay, as long as this thing is in you, you'll never get anywhere. You have to do something about it. Cut off your hand. I don't know if grabbing a knife and some tweezers would do anything, because the fact that they sent someone to clean your apartment space, that alone, I don't think you can just easily escape, you know? So let's call our aunt. She owes you an explanation. Since the woman wanted you to start working at this company, she might not exactly be willing to help you leave it. But she's still family. That's got to count for something. At least you thought so, until your call goes straight to voicemail and plays a pre-recorded message. Hi, sweetie. Glad to hear the interview went well. I even earned a small commission for recruiting you. Oh my god, it's Annie! Hey, Annie. How's it going? Let me give you a little shout out there. Great to see you. Great to see you. Happy Friday. Hello, hello, hello. It's been a while. I'm so glad you can stop by. I hope you're having a wonderful Friday or weekend so far. Yeah. You're enjoying yourself, staying cool, staying hydrated. That's what I'm about to do. We're just continuing I want to say visual novel, if you will, but it's a pick and choose game too. Like, whatever actions you choose will, you know, you get different endings, blah 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 blah. Good day, it's so sunny. It is very sunny right now too where I am, so that's good. I'm glad it's sunny on your side. So glad. Yeah, you're melting. Oh no, don't melt. Don't melt. Also, I wanted to say this for a while and I didn't get to say it, but your model looks wonderful. I love the design of your model, and let's just say it's such a unique design, and I hope to see you like stream a little bit more too. I hope to catch you streaming. I think like time zone may be a thing, you know, but hopefully I get to stop by one of your streams. That'll be kind of nice. Have you been playing Nikki lately? I've been playing it yesterday and I've been having a lot of fun with it. I upgraded my computer, so now I can take pictures with like better quality. And the fact that I can even use my model as I play the game itself is kind of insane. I never thought that day would come, but here we are. Thank God for the upgrade. I saved up for the upgrade for a while, and glad it worked out. Like, hell yeah. Hopefully I'll be able to play more Nikki then. Speaking of Nikki, are you going for the serpent outfit? Because I'm thinking of saving up a little bit more until I see an outfit I really want. Thank you. I've been so lazy about streaming. I haven't been able to play lately, but I will play now. Nah, you're all good. You know, lazy girl era is great in summer, and when you need that little like you know, brain rot type of situation, just to chill and relax. Sometimes you need it. Sometimes you need to be in your lazy girl era to charge up. You know what I mean? I need to get into that to charge up, really. Yeah, you're playing now? Okay, good. Good luck on your games and have fun. Oh, PC upgrade. Yeah. Wait, I have to go look at the outfits. Yeah. The new outfits. There's a serpent one and there's one that's based off of a knit moth and it's super cute. The colors are great. I love it that they incorporated dark colors, but I think I'm gonna pass on this one and I'm gonna save up all my crystals to get the next one. I'm more interested in like more Hanfu inspired Nikki outfits. So I hope they come out with that more. So yeah. Anyway, if you're streaming today, I hope you have a wonderful stream, Emmy. And thank you so much for stopping by. Those are cool. I want fairy wings though. Yeah, I know. I know. The fairy wings. Wait, they're gone. I think it was like the fairy tale update last time. Yeah, that one's gone. But it's really cool though. I saw the lookbook and there was like a lot going on. People were posting their wings and everything. I saw a lot of like Wings Club fits in that lookbook. It was so cute. Alright, let me continue this little thing from our aunt. Unfortunately, I won't be speaking to you again anytime soon now that you've been hired at Smyrna Corp. Our generic relationship has officially concluded. From here on out, it's all business, so make sure to be on your best behavior at the office. I hate to see you get replaced next. Ma'am? Anyway, that's all for now. Hope you like the renovation Smyrna Corp did to your apartment. Love you. Yes, don't forget to send the rent money. XOXO. Okay, aunt. A little bit creepy, but alright. The rest is just a white noise of a familiar dial tone. Yeah, I passed on that since people said it wasn't worth. Since there might be a rerun of older fairy outfit. No, you're good, Annie. You are good. Chat always comes first when it comes to my streams. So I would gladly stop this for just a moment. Plus, we're all here to chill, have a great time. Chill, hang out with friends, so it's totally... Yeah. I say that's a good thing. So every day I would do my dailies just to, you know, just to save up, so. But I've almost caught up to all the main quests and stuff. Actually, I finished the main quest, but there's all these side quests and new games and things like that. They're pretty easy to do, I'll say. But yeah, hey, you get rewards from it, so I'll do it anyways. Also, don't be sorry. You're not distracting me. We're having a conversation. Really cool. You're good. You're not sure if you're more stunned by heartbreak, hatred, or sheer brain-boggling confusion. Boggling confusion. But whatever the case, you swear under your breath and immediately call her back. This time, someone does pick up. But it's not the person you know. Oh my god. What the fuck? Who the fuck is this Sheesh, sorry to hear she turned out to be such a bitch. I actually liked her. What? The warped voice is so startling. You snap your phone shut and the reel back, ready to fling it across the room. But the stranger on the other line continues speaking, unperturbed. Wait, what? Easy there. I know this looks weird. But I'm not with Smyrna Corp. I'm a friendly neighborhood hacker, here to get you out of this mess. Pick up the phone, and I'll tell you everything. Promise. Okay, that is weird. Someone's trying to help us now? You doubt this person is telling you the truth. Especially when your phone is emitting a soft vermilion glow and noises you've never heard it make before. But it's also the first time anyone has offered unconditional help in a long while. Dazed and confused, you flip your phone up again. You are not greeted by an icon, a caller ID, or text message, but by distorted video footage. Deep within the live's feed, peculiar reddish sheen. A static, warped face stares through the pixelated screen. The image quality is too low to tell if they're a man or woman. The sound too tiny to decide if they are young or old. Teeny, tiny, teeny. Yet you still feel a nagging certainty that this person is important. Nice to finally meet you face to face, so to speak. Though I'm not assuming you've had better days. Now, I don't have much time to explain what's going on. Listen close, and make sure not to hang up, otherwise, you could be in danger. Oh, well, what do we have to lose that our aunt is not helping us and this stranger is offering help? Fuck it, let's see what happens if we agree to the stranger's demands and listen for now. A high-pitched pulse of static rings out of your device. Laughter, you suspect. Odds are this person wasn't expecting you to agree so quickly, but they certainly aren't complaining either. Thanks. I knew I can count on you. Call me L. Oh my god, it's L. Call me L, by the way. I give you my real name if I could. But if Smyrna Corp ever picks your brain for answers, they can figure out who I am, where I live, or what I'm planning, and neither of us want that. That you do not. Especially since this L person doesn't mean brain picking in any metaphorical sense. Your palms begin clamming up and your breathing becomes shrill. Maybe this was a bad idea. Don't worry. Our connection's secure. I'm communicating on a limited frequency that disables your microchip sensors and any other recording devices that might have installed. You can say or think anything you want with me. Smyrna Corp wouldn't know a thing. See, those human resource maniacs only trust archaic, discontinued tech. It's a precaution against hacking attempts or something. That means cutting-edge shit is almost always taboo to them. Unless it comes from a trusted business partner. Since your clunker of a flip phone still connects to cell towers but not to the internet, I'm basically in the biggest, bestest, most unhackable blind spot I could ever ask for. The stranger speaks with tremendous confidence and breakneck urgency. The fearful thrill of knowing time is limited mingles with their robotic coldness. Better cut to the chase. Who are you and what do you want from me? On your flip phone's warbled screen, L's image shifts and multiplies as their connection grows unstable. They take a deep breath before making their desperate, albeit honest, request. Who I am doesn't matter right now. What does is the fact I want to take down Smyrna Corp. Is the music too loud or is it okay for you guys? Let me know. Dismantle the entire company, reveal what they've done, and set the human race free. To do that, I need help from someone on the inside. And you're literally the only person on the planet I can do to trust to do this. Your eyes bulge, your pulse quickens. A stranger has just promised to tear apart the bars of your new cage. It must be a miracle. Or perhaps too good to be true. I don't know how much you heard about Smyrna Corp's upcoming business partnership during your interview, but they're looking to team up with this humongous tech conglomerate, Radium Inc. That's right. You did hear the name mentioned a few times, not just at the office, but on the news too. Hell, you vaguely remember getting ghosted by their admin team after applying to work there, though perhaps rejection was for the best, since you lacked any relevant qualifications. As the markers of some of the most advanced consumer devices on the planet, Radium's technologies are ubiquitous worldwide, from security cameras to self-driving cars, communication satellites, and smartphones for more advanced than your antenna-bearing model. Their digital footprint is everywhere. However, their list of human rights violations is just as vast. Not a day goes by where the media won't report their latest lawsuits, their inhumane worker abuses, their hazardous waste dumping, their illegal data laundering, or even their consumer debts. If it's honestly a miracle the company hasn't already been sued into oblivion. They got money. Makes sense. Yeah, well, that might be happening pretty soon. I don't know all the details of the contracts they're working out yet, but I do know that Radium is in deep shit. The company needs money fast. And since Smyrna Corp is about as cutting edge as a dial-up modem, they see a ton of potential in purchasing a more contemporary competitor. Thing is, this buyout deal would help those maniacs control human history at a bigger scale than ever. The second this contract gets signed, Smyrna Corp will have access to a full suite of new Radium hardware that's already been disseminated throughout the wider public. Kind of tools that could even let them crank out more doppelgangers than ever, or even lobotomize people remotely. Think about it. Entire countries could have their populations replaced overnight. Databases of shared knowledge could be scrubbed in seconds. Objective truth and free will could forever become relics of a bygone past. The only way we stop that from happening is by hitting Smyrna Corp where it hurts. Before their deal goes through, creating the kind of data breach this company could never recover from. Your head, already full to bursting, bloats with further revelations. You reach for something to hold on to and almost fall over trying. So many doubts, so many fears, so many goddamn questions swim about your brain until it feels like your mind is drowning in them. You don't even know where to start. But L's image blurs with worsening static, warning you to start asking soon. Alright, what should we say? Asking a why should I trust you question is kind of like, I mean, at this point, you picked up the phone. You might as well go ahead with it. Well, technically, they already mentioned what Radium stands to gain. I think I want to know, like, why contact me? How am I supposed to stop this? Until a few hours ago, you were a jobless leech, living in your relative's cheapest rental unit, surrounded by garbage, effigies, and a skyscraper of rejection slips. There should be quite literally billions of people more qualified to save the world than you. That's not true. I don't think there's a single person on Earth that could be more perfect for this job. 1. You work at Smyrna Corp, meaning you have eyes on the inside. 2. You're a new hire. So no one will suspect you for asking questions that give us a way to gather information without much risk. 3. You have the new Radium microchip, which is way easier for me to bypass than the older employees' non-disclosure fail-safes. 4. You're desperate to escape, so I'm willing to bet you'll take a few risks. And 5, well, this is more personal, but let's just say I have a good reason to think you're capable and trustworthy. Oh my god, Weeping, welcome in. Thank you so much for Stretch and Hydrate. Thank you. Good luck at work. I know you're still at work right now. Yeah, we're still playing the Inhumane resources right now. And let's just say, after we got home, after the main character got home, I gotta give you a little TLC. What the hell? TLDR. My sanity's okay, but it's kind of cool right now. Whatever's happening now is kind of cool. So we went home, and then we thought about it, and then we went crazy, and we thought about it, and then we like hurled into our toilet, you know, went like into our toilet, right, because of the stuff we saw. And then We looked into the mirror and was like, fuck it, like, you know, like I don't want to, I might as well go through with it and not even like look at what I look like right now. So we hit the mirror. We got injured. We try to find, you know, maybe the first aid kit or whatever. We walk through our apartment, right? And the first thing we noticed is this apartment used to be very trashy. Like there's a lot of trash everywhere. So subconsciously, you kind of like know how it's mapped by the way the trash are, you know, like because you know your area well. But you found out that there is much more space than usual. You flick on the lights, and your whole apartment was cleaned. You smell cleaning solution in your apartment when you stop to think about it. Everything else was replaced by like soulless stuff. Soulless colors, soulless stuff. All your clothes are replaced by the company uniform. So someone has actually, the company probably sent someone to clean your place. Yeah. And by the time you realized it, you're like, fuck. What the hell? I gotta call my aunt. You know, like she owes me an explanation. Like at least she can say what's going on. You call your aunt. She goes to automated voice message. And it was like a recording saying like, hey honey, I'm so glad you're into this thing. Please don't contact me, only for business. Remember to pay your rent, blah, 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 blah. All of a sudden, you receive a different call. Exactly. You receive a different call from a hacker, apparently. That's telling you, hey, you're the only person in this world that could stop this company from doing shit because this other company is trying to collab with this company that you're in. And now, if you don't stop them, if you don't break them, the world will go to shit. And you're like, what the fuck? And so now we're going through with the hacker, and the hacker's trying to tell you the reasons why you are chosen. It's kind of crazy. So then, continuation to that, right? Like, what the fuck's going on? You know, like, oh my god, yeah. Yeah, I know Annie. Yeah, shaking in her boots right now. It's kind of crazy. I don't be the chosen one, too much work. It's a lot. But he's trying to, like, they're trying to, because you don't know who this hacker is, but they're trying to tell you, like, why you're the chosen one. And 5, bottom line is, I need your help specifically, and so does the human race. So, you are somehow going to become the undercover without being caught. Right? Because it says here. Yeah. Oh, Mafia? Sure, you got it. You got it. Hold on. What's my... Hot Cheeto. Choco's is here. So, they were like, 1, you work at Smyrna Corp, meaning you can be undercover. 2, you're a new hire, so no one would suspect you for asking questions to gather information without risk. 3, we have that new Radium microchip. Radium, okay, so the company we work for is Smyrna Corp, if you remember. Radium is another company that wants to work with Smyrna Corp. Radium made that microchip inside our hand or somewhere in our body, right? So it's a microchip that kind of like handles like to track us. Oh my god, bitch, thank you for the bitch. You're the best, weeping. Thank you. So they can track us, and they can even track our mood and our thoughts a little bit. So yeah. So, and then the hacker was like, okay, not only that, you have that new radium microchip, so it's easy for me to bypass than the older employee system, basically, because this hacker is very, very knowledgeable in hacking into more higher technology, blah, 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 blah. And then they're saying like, well, you're very desperate to escape, so I'm willing to bet you'll take a few risks. So now we have become the undercover. I know. The explanation is equal parts sensible and suspicious, but There's an undeniable earnestness to the plea, too. The stranger really does think you're a chosen one of some kind, though you're a bit insulted, and that's mostly a matter of circumstances and not due to your unique brand of subpar skills. Okay. So, I think we decided to trust this person. So instead of choosing, why should I trust you? Or what does Radium stand to gain if this deal goes through? Or fine, I'll help. What do you need me to do? I want to go through it. I want to YOLO it. And I want to go through with it. Again, it's for the human race, I guess, according to the hacker. So, okay, fine, I'll help. What do you want me to do? This whole situation is utter madness. So is your upcoming tenure at Smyrna Corp. If you want to live without the shadow of replacement haunting you forever, helping this L person is your best bet to break free. Oh, by the way, this hacker's name is L. You see where this is going? That's good. But the hacker's name is L. Maybe even your only bet. Glad to hear you're on board. We might actually have a shot at winning now. L, I know. That's great. The featureless face on your phone screen warps nigh indiscernibly. You're not entirely certain, but you suspect L is smiling. When they next speak, their voice is more distorted than ever. Seems your connection is wearing thinner by the second. Alright, here's the plan. There's a maximum security facility deep below the Smyrna Corp office. Employees call it the Hive. I'm not 100% sure why it's called that or what it does exactly. All I know is that Smyrna Corp doesn't want any unauthorized individuals finding out what's inside. L, excuse me. Exactly. Exactly. Hold on. I got a little text. Okay. You need to find a way in. Then, you'll look for the most highly classified piece of documentation you can possibly get your hands on, steal it, escape, and bring it back to me. Then, I'll leak whatever's on it to the wider world, and Smyrna Corp will never be able to operate in secret ever again. Okay, this sounds like a recipe for disaster. Saying just steal it in the most highly secured place under that fucking company, give it to them, and then whatever's in there, and then they leak it is like, well, here's the thing. I don't think it works that way. I feel like there's something, I don't know, now I don't exactly like this plan because they're saying it very vaguely, and it's like, okay, what will happen to me after I steal it? After you leak it, what happens to me? I want to know. This might sound like a suicide, but don't worry. You'll have a friend on the inside. Okay, now they're mentioning, like, okay, don't worry, like, you won't die. You'll actually have someone in there. So, okay, wait, so I'm not the only one that could save the world? There's someone else that's involved? I'm questioning now. The receptionist, Melusine, she's another one of my connections, but she hasn't been able to do much alone, plus she's deathly afraid of getting replaced. Too afraid to make the bold moves you will. Find her and ask for help. As a fellow employee, she should have full clearance to teach you about the Hive. Just make sure not to get too nosy, or your microchip would go off. If that happens, she'll be overseeing your lobotomy next. One's a little bit scary. Great. Well, we have... At least we know we have someone in there that will help us in a way. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me grab something real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I get my lip gloss. Lip gloss, lip balm. I don't wear lip glosses. The weather change and it's getting hot and dry is like making my lips hella dry. Oh my god, I rhymed there. Hello. Okay. The phone's distorted static bursts more and more. The warbled face upon your screen no longer looks remotely human. Then, right as the image warps beyond any shred of recognition, you hear some final words of warning from your unlikely ally. Shit, I have to go. I'll contact you again as soon as I can. Just be sure to act like a good little employee or they'll snuff you out. Make sure you find the hive, alright? Our utopia depends on it. It's kind of crazy. I feel like suddenly your screen shuts off, as though the phone ran out of battery. You sit there for a few moments, hoping it would turn back on. But in time, even the dial tone fades. Here's what I'm thinking, right? Radium decides to work with Smyrna Corp, a company that is not as high-tech as Radium. And this L person, this hacker, wants us to go into Smyrna Corp's hive, most highest secured place, to grab the documents and to leak the secrets of Smyrna Corp. Why do I have a feeling, this is a theory, that the hacker is from Radium? Radium's trying to destroy Smyrna Corp as a competition. Is it crazy for me to say that? Even though technically Radium is now working with Smyrna Corp, Radium made the microchip that is inside the MC's body right now. And knowing that they're like the highest like tech company type of thing going on with them, like, you think that they can't find the hacker or know about it? And it really makes me wonder, okay, I have one friend, but L didn't mention that there's more than one. You know what I mean? Why, Weebay? Why? 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 Why are we doing this? Bless me. Not like this. Oh my god. This is crazy, but that's my theory. Okay, so what should we do? Hey, Snicko! Hi, how's it going? Let me give you a shout out. To Neko. There you go. Oh yeah. I'm doing alright? Doing alright? That is great to hear. We are going through a game that is heavy on text, but psychological horror, and a little bit of lobotomy involved, and trigger warning. There's a lot of dark stuff involved with our MC getting into this company that may or may not cost us our life. Kind of crazy. Bless me, so these HR people get away from me. Oh yeah, no, you don't want these HR people to get on you. That's for sure. Like they could do some things. Got expert in 3-person mahjong today. Hell yeah! Congrats, Neko. Woo! What's up? Hell yeah! Congrats! You deserve it. That is awesome. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Keep going. Keep going. Go to the top. Go to the top, Neko. That is awesome. This is crazy. I don't know if I trust this hacker guy. Is that not normal? Whenever you work for a company, you sell your soul? I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right. Right? Yeah. Except this one is, you sell your soul, and, if you, decide to go against it, you'll be lobotomized and made into a doppelganger, and they can replace you somehow. It's kind of crazy, but that's what we're dealing with, right? It's kind of crazy. And so this hacker is trying to tell us, like, hey, you gotta, you gotta go in there, be an undercover for the company, and give me the secrets of them, and I'll leak it. But first, you gotta access the highly secured database. Oh yeah, sure. Just walk in. That's not hard. Just walk in. Yeah, no. Yeah, company with extra lines of the contract. This is a dark psychological horror type of game. It is kind of crazy. It's very heavy on text though, but I am enjoying it so far. It's very dramatic and I love it. Okay, so what should we do? Wait for a few more minutes before giving up, or check the caller ID history just in case it can tell you who L is. I doubt it, since he hacked into our phone, our flip phone, to be exact. Let me check the caller. I usually would check the caller ID, but I feel like it should be fine. There's nothing there except the call you had this morning with your aunt. A predictable, if disappointing, outcome. Exhausted, you migrate to your mattress, hoping you'll dream a better dream than whatever this strange nightmare was. Your head hits the pillow, and a flood of night terrors washes over you. Disturbing, surreal, almost silly stuff, like zombie apocalypses, or giving speeches in class while wearing lingerie you've most certainly never worn before. It's almost a relief to witness such cartoonishly simple frights. After a day like this, part of you wishes they go on forever, even if they're scary, and leave you stuck in a headspace where Smyrnacorp couldn't possibly exist. Yet again, you find yourself wishing you wake up somewhere else than this. Yet again, you wish time would ask permission before racing ahead. And yet again, the concept of reality proves to be an unkind, callous bitch. After a few brief, restless hours, your alarm's familiar chirping demands that you wake up. Time to clock in. Chapter complete. Proceed to the search for Melusine. So, we're gonna look for this other, quote-unquote, accomplice, friend, that will guide us to the hive to get the top secret data. So we're gonna look for this Melusine person. It's been 2 weeks since you were hired. Or 10 whole business days, as Mr. Bergard puts it. It feels strange to think of time in those terms now. Even stranger that 10 days is all it took for your life to change so much. A steady paycheck is a welcome relief from poverty, especially when the first one had more zeros than you expected. But you've barely had the motivation to spend a single cent of it, let alone leave the house. Your nerves are shot. You barely sleep. You're losing weight in a noticeable non-fitness journey way. You haven't seen nor spoken to any friends, fearing they might have become, or always have been, doppelgangers. And every time your hand itches, you wonder if it's the borodinium finally kicking in. Oh, and you're absolutely sick of wearing black turtlenecks. You're pretty sure the cheap acrylic is giving you an armpit rash. Your sole respite from all this misery has been a brand new hobby you picked up to stay sane. Collecting pirated video games, reading philosophy textbooks, jogging your way to work and back. Wow. So what is our brand new hobby? Pirating video games is not a good thing, but video games is the closest to what we do, right? I'm not much of a reader. Reading philosophy textbooks might get you in trouble, actually, working here, fortunately. Jogging your way to work and back might be a thing, but, I guess technically, physical activity will help you stay sane. I mean, we can try jogging your way to work and back and see what happens. What started as a way to save on bus fare quickly became a training regimen, then a competition against yourself, aiming to go a bit further, a bit faster, each and every day. Until you could feasibly outrun city transit. You need to be that quick, at least to escape a Smyrna-Corp lobotomy warrant. Okay, our profile has changed. Physical faculty, +1. However, despite fear of replacement driving you to seek out new coping mechanisms, despite the dread that washes over you every time you step into the building, well, it turns out it's actually pretty easy to forget the threat of imminent doom when you're slowly dying of boredom. Outlandish decor and blood-soaked interviews aside, your first 2 weeks at Smyrna Corp were eerily uneventful. You haven't even worked yet, let alone been assigned to a desk by whatever administration team you're assured definitely exists. You've been just locked away in meeting rooms, asked to peruse employee handbooks, and attend seminars about workplace culture. The latter are usually hosted by overworked secretaries with better things to do than entertain new hires. Other than yourself, the office is abuzz with panic. People rush by without a word every time you wave hello, or seem on the verge of killing sprees whenever coffee machines start running low. With the radium ink deal approaching, deadlines are tight. Overwork is mandatory, and the stakes for Smyrna Corp's discontinued future are especially high. Even with your brain reduced to a stew of secondhand stress and corporate bustler, you can't ignore the stakes you're facing. The second that ink dries on that trade deal, the world will begin drowning in a sea of obfuscation. Wow, that's a big word for me. At least, that's how L puts it. The stranger reached out many times since your first impromptu correspondence, asking very, very anxiously if you've managed to track down Melusine and prevent Armageddon. Your answer has consistently been a shameful, chagrined no. In theory, it should be easy to track down a receptionist, but you haven't seen her at the front desk since the day you arrived. Maybe she's been on vacation, or maybe she's been too busy supervising prefrontal transplants to smile at visitors. Either way, you were forced to employ some less conventional strategies to track the tired-looking woman down. Okay, so what should we do? Ooh, computer science special. We don't have that skill. Let's see. We have a few options. The first one is solid aptitude stat. You made small talk at the office dispensers to see if other coworkers knew her whereabouts. I feel like if we ask too much, that could potentially lead us into getting into trouble. Leaving post-it notes at the front desk with your phone number is also very risky, because what if she's not the one who saw it? You staked out every area in the building, hoping you accidentally bump into her. That might seem less crazy and less trackable, right? Because I feel like you can have more excuses if you staked out every area in the building. Let's do that. Damn, that sucks. There's no sugarcoating it. You acted like a stalker. You hung out near bathrooms on each and every floor, circled parking lots trying to guess which cars was hers, desperately asked employees if they saw a French woman pass by. If any of them did, they probably warned her to avoid you. Oh, that's bad. I don't think that was a good. Whether discouraged or embarrassed by your not-so-genius stratagem, L was quick to propose a foolproof alternative. Smyrna Corp will be hosting a free brunch at the office on Friday. I'm guessing the higher-ups want to keep their staff happy after working them to near death. But the thing is, they always make these dumb events mandatory, meaning everyone has to be there, Melusine included. Knowing her, she won't be staying long. The girl hates crowds with a passion. But this might be our only chance at getting info about how to reach the hive. So scope out the area and track her down fast. And so, there you are, standing in line, plate in hand, waiting for your serving of room temperature scrambled egg. The reception area that greeted you 2 weeks ago is barely recognizable. Its thick shadows and thicker ammonia stench have given way to the glare of heated food lamps, tinged by the cloying aroma of undercooked breakfast sausage. A small army of employees fill the lobby with a dull roar circulating between the buffets and appetizing trays. Dirt-cheap party steamers have been strung between the pillars, once unsettling sculptures, and plastered over the silver lettering of the company's engraved slogan. Memoriae perpetuitas mutatio. It's no more. Now, there is only congratulations. You may already be depressed, but the spelling mistake on that banner somehow makes you sadder. Eventually, an old lady snaps at you to quit hogging the goddamn serving spoon, knocking you out of your disassociated trance. Leaving the tray of eggs behind, you navigate throngs of hungry colleagues. You struggle not to spill your food as you squeeze between too many people packed together far too tightly. Melusine has to be here, somewhere, but picking her out in this horde of identical black turtlenecks definitely won't be easy. If you're going to find her, you're going to need a plan. Okay, so we have a few options. Elle said she's antisocial. Keep an eye out for people eating alone. You're stronger than most people here. Shove your way through the crowd to cover ground faster. I think that's probably a bad idea. Melusine has a distinctive smile. Search for someone grinning so hard it hurts. There's a lot of people there, so I'm not too sure if we can do that. Review your employee handbook. Maybe it contains a map of the employee rest areas. That might be a good way to do that. Keeping an eye out for people eating alone is like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people eat alone when, you realize that you work for this company and you don't want any crazy conversations about not working in the company anymore, or not wanting to work. Okay, let's review your employee handbook. Maybe it does contain a map of the employee rest areas. I have a feeling that might be a thing, maybe? Hey, Chunky, how's it going? Indeed. Great to see you, great to see you. Oh, thank you for the stretch. Hell yeah. Let's go. Thank you. Whew. Okay. Should we review our employee handbook? You know what? Fuck it. You unfold the booklet, skimming through the same old, insipid passages. There's little of value to see, other than a calculated combination of condescending praise and thin-veiled threats. Seems you'll have to consider a different approach. Okay, guess that doesn't work. Stopping by to take a look at stream and stay cool too. Thank you. You as well. Please be careful of the heat wave that's going on right now. Stay cool. You have acquired employee handbook. Okay, nice. Let's try antisocial. You're no stranger to feeling uncomfortable at social events, especially since you don't really know anyone who works here other than Obuya. Funny enough, today was an actual cold day. It was stupidly cold. Really? Well, that's rare. That's very rare. I'm not complaining if it's cold. I'm only complaining if it's hot. I'm glad it's a okay day for you. Identifying other folks who feel out of place shouldn't be too complicated. Or so you hoped. That's what I thought. Though you quickly discerned which Smyrna Corp employees are antisocial or deliberately keeping away from the tighter knit crowds, the all black uniforms, and widespread physical exhaustion make most faces blur together in a vast vat of anti capitalist sentiment soup. Narrowed, search radius or not, you're still stuck, awkwardly, zigzagging across the lobby, trying to get a closer look at each sob-faced stranger. I'm trying not to shrimp right now, and it's really hard. Please don't shrimp. Okay. Okay, stop shrimping. Choco, stop shrimping. Okay, there you go. And not one happens to be Melusine, of course. Cursing both yourself and this company's treatment of its workers, you try to think of another strategy. Oops, that's my leg. Okay, there you go. And that's when you finally spot her, standing right behind the counter where you had first met. Just below the eye-catching "Congratulations" banner, a sickly, pale, sickly smiled woman stands, her hair tied in a dainty bun, her forks picks at a half-empty plate of grapefruit slices and baked beans while her baggy eyes scan the reception room, perhaps hoping to spot a certain someone. Could it be she's looking for you? You cross your fingers, hoping her gaze will meet yours by magic. Unfortunately, your life is rather far removed from the convenient types of C-grade romantic comedy. Rather than notice you standing on your tiptoes and relentlessly waving, Melusine breathes a defeated sigh. Her forced smile facade faltering for an instant, head hung low, and subpar breakfast in hand. She makes for a nearby elevator, poised to leave the room for good. Shit, she's getting away. You sprint ahead to try and stop her, but she's already stepped into the lift and begun pressing buttons. You won't make it before the door closes, but you need to do something. Okay, so we don't have these two, so the only way is shout her name as loud as you can, unfortunately. That's our only option. Public embarrassment is a small price to pay for the preservation of free will. You take a deep, deep breath. Fill your lungs to bursting with breakfast-scented air. Hold it in as long as you can and blow a thunderous Melusine. Your voice cracks into a squeaky cartoon parody of its former self, or trailing into a rasping cough. But the name which crosses your lips still rings out louder than an erupting volcano. The reception room explodes with gasps and stifled curses. Many brunchers dropping their plates, leaving bacon-greased ceramic shards scattered across the floor. Hey, me child! Hi, Miha. Nice to see you. Hello, hello. You came just in time for some psychological horror game. That's mostly reading. Hi. Do you like audiobooks? Because I'm about to read you one. Too busy clutching her chest. Oh, Melusine flinches much the same. Yeah. Too busy clutching her chest with the desperation of a triple cardiac bypass survivor to even consider leaving anymore. It's Inhumane Resources, the one that we've been playing. The one where lobotomy is involved. And now you're trying to find the secret data and give it to this hacker named L to save humankind somehow. It gets kind of complicated, but we're undercover in this company, and I feel like if we do one small move that is wrong, we will be dead. Hopefully her heart won't burst out of her chest before you can actually talk to her. How do we get from job description to lobotomy? Well, we found out that this company does lobotomy. And we also found out that there's this other company that wants to work with our company, Smyrna Corp. And if they successfully sign the contract, humankind will be fucked. So we have to get the secret data from the most secured place in the company, while being undercover and while not dying. It really feels like that. This hacker is literally telling us like, hey, you need to do this or else there will be no humankind. And we're like, oh fuck, well, do I have a choice? And they're like, yeah, you also have like, you know, a friend that knows what's going on. She couldn't do it, so that's why I asked you to do it. Okay. Yeah, we are fucked. We are fucked. I have to mention that we do have a tracker in our body from the fucking company, so if we decide to be stupid, fuck around and find out. Am I right? Here we go. We just found our ally, Melusine. The reception room explodes with gasp. Okay, I already said that. Catching your breath and trotting towards the elevator, you wheeze a quiet apology to your scowling onlookers, though they all regard you with the universal disgust. What the fuck? Yep. They're quick to return to prior conversations or their respective bacon strips. The receptionist's exhausted eyes light up as you approach. For the briefest moment, her fixed smile turns to genuine joy, and then to genuine annoyance. Finally, I was beginning to think I've never tracked you down. Where have you been? Mr. Brigard said you've been coming to the office, but I couldn't find you anywhere. Do you have any idea how desperate I was getting? Waiting outside bathrooms with a huge grin, hoping I catch you on the way out. Peeking inside the parking lot's sedans with my face smushed against every window shield. It's a miracle no one called the cops on me. Well, good to know you're not the only one whose search attempts were a flop. It's a relief to see Saint Sans behaving like a real person for once. Despite her berating, there's an undercut of implicit trust to her flustered frustration. I have a torta, fear me. Yeah, hopefully. An earnestness that could get her replaced, were it shown to the wrong colleague. Okay. Apologize for the trouble without mentioning your own mishaps. I think this is more professional. We don't know this person yet, and I don't know anything about this person that could affect me somehow. So let's be professional and see what happens. Apologize for the trouble without mentioning your own mishaps. You need to save face somehow, right? Oh, okay. That's not what I was thinking, but okay. Despite trying to paint an overly flattering picture of yourself, your explanation seems to steady the receptionist's shaken nerves. Then, as if suddenly remembering where she is, Melusine's mask-like smile stretches across her face once more. Well, regardless, I'm quite pleased to see you've officially joined the Smyrnacore family. You see, there's a collaborative task I need your help with. One that an external client specially requested we both complete, in preparation for the upcoming partnership deadline. Do you understand what I'm saying? The woman is speaking in code. Communicating through such secretive means might be the only way to openly discuss L's plan without triggering your microchip's treason sensors. Yes, our microchip, what the hell? Our microchip can sense treason. Oh yeah, we're fucked. If they find out one of our thoughts that could trigger that, ooh, we're fucked. You give Melusine a firm nod. The woman smiles harder, glancing about to make sure no one is listening. They don't get a torta. They don't get a torta. I want a torta though. The employees seem too enraptured by their free meals to care. Wait, I'd be dead. Yeah, it's scary like that. Glad to know I can count on your cooperation. In order to succeed, this task will require us to both have access to the nursery department. That's the official name for what us colleagues refer to as The Hive. We like to have fun around here, you see. Giving things funny names like that. The Herald woman's forced laugh sounds fake enough to freeze your blood. Your heart suddenly feels like it's struggling to pump ice cubes through your veins. Now, the nursery department is a restricted area. That means special employee clearance is necessary to access it. I already possess said clearance, and I've put in a formal request to give you that clearance too, but from what I hear, it's been refused twice, for some reason. I'm afraid you'll have to blame me for that, my dear. Oh, fuck, it's Obuya. Ah, fuck. I'll be royally screwed up there where I stand. Me too! The ice cubes chugging through your bloodstream hardened into a single iceberg as a suffocating shadow looms over you both. Melusine's smile wavers as she beholds the horror of what now stands behind you. A beaming, earnest, pure white smile. Oh dear, terribly rude of me to intrude of your conversation unprompted, wasn't I? Wasn't it? You have my sincerest apologies. I was investigating a disturbance report when I happened to overhear Miss Saint Saiyan's mention your troublesome little certification dossier. May culpa for indulging my curiosity unprompted. The behemoth's booming laughter would almost be contagious if it weren't for his unblinking blue eyes. They bore into your skull and spirit, as if searching for every secret in your puny mind has dared to hide from him. In a desperate bid to blend in, Mezzaline fakes more laughter in response to regards. But you're too scared to do the same. After all, the way the giant clamps a hand on your shoulder, squeezing like a bear trap biting off its rabbit leg, makes it rather obvious who the disturbance really is. You spooked quite a few people by shouting like that, you know? There is no outright rule against high-volume speech in this office, but we here at Smyrna Corp expect our staffers to abide by an unspoken code of conduct in the workplace. Father will love this game if it is psychological horror, yes. It's psychological horror. 100%. Yep. It is. It definitely is. There's a lot of reading, and I highly recommend it if he's into that. It's so good. It's like I've been playing it so far and I absolutely love it. Give me 1 second. I got a text. Okay. Yeah, no, 100% he will. He definitely will. Okay, so what will we do? Apologize profusely for your unacceptable behavior, brush off the accusation, and ask why Melissa's request was refused. Okay, so we don't want to upset the boss man. So I'm going to apologize because we want to blend in. You stammer out some awkward cocktail of convoluted circumstances and dramatic guilt, praying it will be enough to avoid Abuya's wrath. His bassy chuckle intensifies as he waves away your fear. Now, no need to panic. Mistakes are only human, and we're nothing if not a human-driven company. Sure thing, dude. Let's just mark this down as a strike one and put the incident behind us, shall we? Fuck. Strike one. Nah, that's not good. Go back. Shit. Okay. I don't like it. I don't like how we're strike one right now. Okay, we can't go back. Fuck. That's not good. Okay, is he just going to glaze over that whole strike one business? Because that sounds like a major reason to panic. However, as if sensing your impending hyperventilation, Melusine quickly intervenes. Sir, if you don't mind my asking, what's all this about refusing their dossier? I didn't make a mistake writing the application, did I? Oh heavens, no. Your paperwork is always perfect, my dear. A work of art whose precision rivals this building's own architecture. No, I'm afraid the matter of our new hire's clearance is a smidge more complicated. I don't like this man. Believe it or not, our little prodigy here earned themselves an astounding entrance evaluation score. The kind of display even our most seasoned veterans would struggle to provide. Thus, I have supervisors in every corner of our office begging to have this new hire assigned to their department. In the interest of fairness, I've decided to indulge these requests simultaneously, all while giving our recent recruited star player a chance to pursue their own professional preferences. Placing his enormous hand mere inches from the tip of your nose, Oboye begins unfurling his bratwurst thick fingers. You get the impression that he's about to crush your skull like an overripe grape. Instead, he begins enumerating a series of names. In cryptology, future-proofing, evaporation, substitution. Over the course of the following days, I want you to shadow the head of these departments and perform a few tasks. Oh my god, sit up again. According to their prerogatives, if your performance is acceptable, supervisors have been instructed to provide a certificate to endorse your merit. Once you gathered all 4 certifications, you will be given unrestricted access to the nursery department, or, as some people like to call it, the hive. Ew, I can picture it, yeah. No, it's creepy. But that's just a playful little synonym, of course. A pseudonym, of course. We like to have fun around here, you see, giving things funny names and such, don't we, Miss Saint Sans? The behemoth nudges his pale-faced worker in the ribs with a jolly chortle. Melusine responds a well-rehearsed artificial cackle, flashing you a half-apologetic, half-terrified look. It seems she has no power to contest this decision. You're stuck between a rock and a report card-shaped art place. We only have one option here. Understood. I'll satisfy the other department's needs as soon as possible. This is a major hitch in your plans, and time isn't on your side. But sheer determination has a way of letting you accomplish crazy things. With a courageous nod, you vow to gather every certificate before the Radium Partnership is made official. Ah, that's the spirit. I knew that impressive moxie of yours wouldn't let me down. I leave you the liberty of tackling these certifications in whichever order you please. Miss Saint Sans will be able to fill you in on each department's specific quirks. However, she'll need to do so at a later date. Almost perfectly on cue, Regard's elegant gold watch begins beeping like a bomb's countdown timer. You're pretty sure most timepieces of such refined designs don't come with inbuilt alarms, but you've learned better than to question Smirnocorp's convoluted tastes in custom-made tech. My apologies, but duty calls. We have quite a few replacement procedures to complete today. Some poor sod sent the wrong file to the wrong news outlet, and now there's a dozen reporters in need of urgent brain surgery. Might need to cut corners in order to meet quota, but oh well. Sometimes friends and family members are better off forgotten, especially when you work as an investigative journalist. Shall we get on with our day, Miss Saint Saiyans? He said, some poor sod sent the wrong file to the wrong news outlet. And now there's a dozen reporters in need of urgent brain surgery. He says it in such a casual tone because this is what they do. Lobotomy. Oh my god. The sickly pale woman gives a curt nod, trotting to keep pace with the behemoth's strides. She flashes you a concerned look from behind her taut mask smile, begging you to stop her from having to do this, begging you to hurry up and complete this task before she has to do it again. The best you can do is smile back and mouth the silent promise not to fail. As Obuya boards the elevator with Saint Saiyans at his side, his eyebrows suddenly quirk with remembrance. Watching this and the fucking Haikyuu production is such duality. I know. What the duality? Oh my god. That's crazy. I'm surprised you can multitask like that. That's crazy. Well, before I forget, I just want to remind you that we're on a tight deadline. What with Radium Inc. about to sign, you'll need to start the certification process next week and earn 1 department certificate per day. Otherwise, it'll be forced to postpone your nursery department access until after the contract officially goes through. So fuck it. We're forced. We won't have time. Hey, Potato, how's it going? Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Lovely Friday we're having today. How are you doing? Yeah, you're right. Miha can multitask really well. Yep. You guys are having a lovely Friday so far. Obuya is on to us. I feel like he knows what we're gonna do. Or have an idea of what we're gonna do. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Potato. Thank you. In other words, take care not to tire yourself with all that jogging you have to do to get here. We'll need you in tip-top condition at the office. Okay. Alright. The man lets out a booming chuckle, but doesn't even blink. His eyes remain transfixed with yours, as though seeing through your false politeness. Before you can ask yourself how the man knows what you do in your free time, the grillage doors snap shut. Oh my god, look at who it is. It's Ulu. Hey, Ulu. The heat is really getting to me today. Oh no. Yeah, just try your best to keep cool in any way possible. Keeping a cool towel on your neck actually helps a lot too, by the way, if you guys didn't know. Having something cool on your neck will help regulate your body temperature. Happy Friday, Lulu. Nice to see you. Nice. We're continuing our Inhumane resources. Because it's creepy. Yep. My AC is broken. No, that's the worst thing that happened. I hope you have some fan. Like, if you have fan and some ice and like a misting thing. Happy Friday. I love being Inhumane. It's the human resources one, but not really. So, we are. Enjoy the rest of your breakfast. So, Obuya, obviously, has been keeping an eye on us, knowing what we do before work, knowing what we do when we're at work. So we're monitored majority of the time. Both the giant and the lift plunge out of your sight, taking Mizeline with them. All that remains in their absence is the waft of scrambled eggs and the countless staffers who craved them. Chapter complete. Proceed to Monday. Here we go. He knows we watch. Choco. Run. We can't run. We literally have a microchip inside us. They will find us. They will find us, and they would either take us to be lobotomized or make a doppelganger out of us. It's something. It's kind of crazy. Because that's actually what they do. You cannot outrun them. Your post-brunch Monday morning comes far, far too soon. The unrelaxing weekend passes by in less than a blink. And you know exactly why. The countdown to the end of the world has officially begun. And the chronometer is ticking down very, very quickly. As if Mondays weren't depressing enough already, there's not nearly enough Xanax left on Earth to treat whatever misery assails you today. That said, you don't let it discourage you. Elle agreed that the circumstances are far from ideal. But they did insist that the end of all free thought can still be prevented. Not much of an endorsement, but better than nothing. You arrive at the office bright and early, relieved to see brunch trays and banners removed from the reception area. The room's bleak Art Deco majesty is mildly undetermined by the lingering smell of subpar bacon that the ammoniac oh my god, English cleaner has failed to wash out. You head towards the elevators, consulting the nearby map, which lists codes to access each floor. The names of Smyrna Corp's departments have been listed next to each one. Encryptology, fucking hell, future proofing, evaporation, substitution, and of course, the ever inscrutable nursery. You'll need to collect all 4 certificates to find out why it's called the Hive. And you'll need to get it done in 4 days or less. Shut up, Ulu. English is not my best language after all. Actually, none of them are. English is hard as fuck. After all, the Radium Inc. partnership is scheduled to be signed next Monday. Past that point, it'll be too late for Elle to leak Smyrna Corp's data to the world. For some reason, when you were trying to say that word, I can only think of Harry Potter. As if you're trying to do a spell. Me trying to pronunciate a fucking English word becomes a fucking spell. God. That doesn't leave you a lot of wiggle room. Plus, even though Melusine will be more willing to expedite the substitution certification process, you have no idea what to expect from the other supervisors. Well, only one way to find out. Taking a deep breath, you pick your first battle in the war for for certification. God dang it. Where will you go? Where do we go first? Okay, there's the substitution. That's question mark, whatever that is. That's question mark. Encryptology, evaporation, future proofing. Let's do the smallest one first. Let's do evaporation first. The evaporation department. I feel like because it's small, I feel like we'll earn it faster. So we'll go like the easiest to the hardest, right? We'll take the easiest ones down so it doesn't take much time. All right. Might go now. Have fun. Okay, thank you, Miha. You have a good rest of your Friday. Oh my god. Alright, good for the hydrate. I'll eat some of these mandarins. Well, oh my god. Why the skin that's outside is like hard for some reason. Not the skin, but like the little vein looking things. I don't know what they're called. Please stretch. I don't have to write. No, you're good. I'm stretching. Thank you. Let me just finish this up real quick. Mm-hmm. Not the pulp, but the outside skin of the pulp. Right? Maybe? I don't know what it's called. Okay, I'm gonna finish these few ones because they're drying out. They're just really hot in my room right now. So I'm gonna finish it. Oh. Oh, that was sour. Ugh, okay. I am now hydrated. Okay, on to the next one. I also want to get more water. Did it drag it off? Hold on. I'm gonna get a little water. I'll be right back. Okay. I didn't actually get water, but I got strawberry milk. Because why not? That'll be my drink of choice. Pour it into drink. Oh, nice. Yeah. It's also by brand Sangria. Strawberry milk by Sangria. I really like the strawberry milk. Actually, their milk tea is actually really good too. Their milk tea and their strawberry milk is really good. Welcome back, strawberry milk choco. Yeah, thank you. Yummy. Yeah, and he knows. And he knows what I'm talking about. Okay. Continuation. Water. I got my strawberry milk. I got skinny popcorn, whatever they call it. Actually, I like the skinny popcorn because they're less salty. That's the word. Okay. The evaporation department. We're ready. Despite following the building's map directions, finding the evaporation department is no easy feat. There are so many unmarked doorways and twisting concrete halls standing between you and your destination. You almost get the impression that the place has been quarantined from the rest of the Smyrna Corp. Almost like a relative living in a retirement home no one wants to visit. And much like a retirement home, you soon discover a closed-off area that feels old, empty, and reminiscent of a boring tomb. It's a small room, designed to resemble the waiting area of a doctor's office, albeit one that hasn't seen any patients or renovations in a couple decades. Albeit one. Weirder still is that everything from the decor to the ambiance doesn't just feel out of place to you, but the rest of this office eldritch, outlandish sensibilities. From the ugly furniture, start from here, baby blue felt sofas, discolored by age and disuse, are surrounded by asymmetric coffee tables made from solid plastic. Even an impoverished college students would find these pieces too trashy to pick up from the curb. Okay. To the potted plants. Ferns, bonsai, and what was once flowers, all wilted into brown paper-dry husks, including the artificial ones somehow. Their dead hues blend in with the room's boring beige and paint job. And even the ugly magazine. Clumsily crammed into rustling racks, most of the kitsch-looking cover pages are too worn with age to be legible. A few exceptions are written in foreign alphabets you've never seen before. The only thing that fits Smyrna Corp's usual aesthetics are the myriad monochrome photographs framed upon the unflattering beige walls. Each one depicts some important-looking politician from some indistinguishable nation, shaking hands with one or more middle-class representatives. And even if their eyes hadn't been scrubbed out by streaks of black marker, you doubt you recognize a single person in these portraits. All in all, you're struck by an odd sense of peace. The kind you get when visiting museums or old buildings set to be demolished. A sad, depersonalized nostalgia for a place you've never visited, in an era you never lived in. That somehow feels as precious as a childhood memory. Hoping for some guidance regarding your certification, you approach a toll booth-shaped alcove built into the wall. Likely a desk where secretaries would have normally greeted visitors. Unfortunately, it's completely empty, save for a rusted typewriter and a handwritten note congratulating someone on their recent retirement. Wiping away a layer of dust thicker than cave frostings, you notice the note was dated January 2005. Well, this isn't a promising start. How are you supposed to earn a certificate from a department that has been abandoned for years? Then, as you rack your brain for answers, you finally hear it. The faintest hint of a man's groaning voice. You strain yourself to listen closer and isolate the noise source. Your ears eventually lure you to a half-opened metal door upon which hangs a cardboard sign inscribed with ominous words. Evaporation in progress. Do not disturb. A warning, obviously, but in your case, perhaps it could also be a dangerous invitation. Oh no. I'm scared. Haha, nah, this is not cool. This doesn't bode well. Leave and come back later. Fuck it. I'm gonna follow that voice. Fuck it. Curiosity kills the cat! I had nothing to lose right now. The door lets out a low-toned wail, grinding against rusted hinges. You tiptoe in, walking down a lightless hall that leads to a bright open room. The further you go, the louder the groaning man's voice becomes. The room ahead is akin to an asylum's padded cell. Its claustrophobic floors, walls, and ceilings are all plastered in thick sepia carpeting. spotted with black stains that even Smirnocorp's here we go again. Ammoniac cleaner couldn't wash away. Anemone. An array of other decorative details immediately jump out at you. From the large steel lockers set in each corner, to the old ergonomic dentist chair painted a hideous shade of turquoise. The curiosity kills the cat, but not the spider, so you're perfect. Yep, I'm safe. But it's hard to take in everything. When the middle-aged man sitting in that chair is waving you a chipper hello. Hey there, you're here to help with my procedure? Wow, he actually looks happy, like genuinely happy. You're not used to that around here. What's more, he's actually wearing something other than a stupid black turtleneck, and his eyes are bright with excitement rather than dull with exhaustion. No way in hell is this an employee. Could he be a customer? When you open your mouth to ask that question, you're left gagging on the stranger's ungodly breath hitting you from 10 paces away. A smell like warm, rotting eggs assaults your now stinging nostrils. The stench thicker than subtropical summer air. Bile curdles in your stomach, like sour milk turning to sour cheese as you notice the man's proudly bare teeth are as gnarled and putrid brown as clumps of termite nibbled wood. You hold back an urge to dry heave and look away from that rancid dentistry. Only to see another man standing right behind you, his glare sharp as scalpel blades. In his hands dangles a bunch of long Kevlar straps and a gruesome-looking contraption made from jagged, blood-slicked steel. Who are you, and what are you doing here? Answer me, now. The old man is short, yet you shrink back from him, as though towered over by someone taller than Bergard. Despite his many wrinkles, his age has failed to weigh him down. His shoulders are straight, his posture alert. The tone of his voice is harder than quenched steel, much like the metal that must have carved the features of his angular face. Hidden beneath his lab coat, you make out a rusty name tag pinned to the black uniform. Kazuo Kurauka, Senior Evaporation Supervisor. Mr. Kurauka, is something wrong? Not yet, Theodore. Please remain seated. Now, I need you to understand something, trespasser. Mr. Zadrzinski requested that his evaporation procedure occurred with minimal outside interference. So why, pray tell, did you enter this room despite the sign outside specifically requesting you not to? Honestly, you're wondering the same thing. The Kevlar belts in Kazuo's fists sway like pendulums, and his knuckles whiten as his grip tightens. You sense he might be warming up to swing them at your head. Better defuse the situation. Something in the man's cold stare assures you he's not afraid to use violence, whatever as first or last resort. I'm gonna stand my ground and tell them that I can't leave without certification. The fate of the free world is in your hands, and time is running out. Threats like this won't scare you, not when you need that evaporation certificate. Either offended or impressed by your courage, the stiff-faced supervisor's harsh stance softens. Ah, you must be the one Obiya spoke of. I'm surprised he wasn't lying about bringing new blood to our department. We've had no company recruits assigned here since the restructuring in '99. Well, you'll have to excuse my prior hostility, but you'll also have to excuse my current unavailability. I'm in no position to be supervising your initiation, let alone your certification. As I'm sure you can tell, we're incredibly short-staffed, and Mr. Zadrzinski can't exactly evaporate himself. Seconding his technician words, the rotten-toothed man gives a polite wave, no doubt impatient to undergo evaporation. Kazuo, meanwhile, waves you towards the door, no doubt impatient for you to leave and come back next week. Considering what's at stake, you can't afford that kind of setback. There's no way. We need that. We need it right now. You know? Strawberry milk is so good. Standing firm despite budding anxiety. You insist that your certification needs to be done today. It doesn't matter if you have to wait until Theodore's procedure is finished, or sit back and watch Kazuo perform every grueling step of it. One way or another, you will get what you need. The old man arches an eyebrow, impressed by your convincingly conveyed determination. With a pensive pause, his brow furrows, then loosens, as he gives you a firm, satisfied nod. Very well. I suppose indulging a single onlooker wouldn't be so unreasonable a request. That being said, I must insist that my client's procedure remain the utmost priority, and I won't just hand out certificates to someone who sits back and watches, or relies strictly on theoretical knowledge. I need to witness some resolve, befitting of the responsibilities inherent to our department. Which is why you'll be getting your hands dirty and completing this evaporation procedure with me. You definitely didn't like the way he emphasized the word dirty, but at least you've convinced him. Theodore, for his part, looks overjoyed at the prospect of being used as an example. He claps and squeals like a preteen about to watch their favorite boy band play a live encore. Oh, this is so exciting. Now I won't be the only one doing this for the first time. It will also be your last time. Do not forget, our business report must remain temporary. Now then, new blood, make yourself useful while I finish Mr. Zadrzinski's preparation. Please retrieve the briefcase containing Theodore's case file and a pair of pliers at the bottom shelf of that cabinet. The combination lock passcode is 7862. 7860. The old man may not have threatened you, but his tone is firm, and cold enough to make you sprint towards the lock. Sure enough, the stainless steel door has been sealed behind an unusually shaped, vertically aligned combination lock. Though small enough to fit in the palm of your hand, it's surprisingly heavy. I bet it's good. Yeah, it's a really, really good strawberry milk. I really like it. Though small enough to fit in the palm of your hand, it's surprisingly heavy and appears dense enough to withstand high-caliber rifles. Thankfully, its myriad buttons offer a much simpler means of entry. 7862. 78. Mechanisms inside the device snap into place with satisfying clicks, and the padlock hits the ground. But as the door, its seal, creaks open, you wish it had remained closed. Inside the locker rests an assortment of ghastly tools, chipped and scratched by overuse. Manacles with inch-thick chains, blowtorches of all shapes and sizes, straight razors with Damascus-forged blades, brown glass bottles filled with chemicals, the labels worn down to illegible scriptures of ingredients and side effects. The only thing you can't see is a single speck of dust. Probably because these tools see action far too often for any accumulate. Please do not leave fingerprints anywhere inconvenient. Retrieve only the items I requested. The old supervisor barks his directives over the sound of shuffling Kevlar straps and fastening buckles, punctuated by Theodore's nervous chuckling. You reach out for the metal briefcase on the bottom shelf, its clasps secured by some same unwieldy padlock as the door that protected it. A wave of relief washes over you as you notice a pair of simple channel locked pliers lying atop of it, which look downright dinky next to the gruesome tools above. Odds are, Kazuo only needs them to adjust a screw or something. Unfortunately, the second you turn around, you no longer believe that convenient lie. The ever-enthusiastic Theodore's smile has been warped by mounting dread. As Kazuo finishes strapping his limbs and neck to the dentistry chair, his chest falls and rises with deep, fearful breaths. His twinkling eyes now focus on the pliers in your now shaking hands. Kuraoka, meanwhile, unfolds the metal device he was clutching before. It appears to be a cage-like contraption made of steel wires and jagged braces, vaguely shaped like the inside of a human mouth. You've never seen anything like it before, but something tells you that you're about to discover its intended use. Because the old man nods your way and makes a simple stomach-churning inquiry. Would you rather hold his head or pull his teeth? Theodore's grin grows wider, savoring his last smile. Obviously, we're going to be determined. We're very determined to do this, so we're gonna do it. He's testing your determination. Offer to pull Theodore's teeth. You'll look tougher that way. We gotta earn his trust to get the certificate. So, Kazuo did mention resolve was a key factor for evaporation certification. So you might as well make yourself look confident to improve your odds. After all, he's not really going to make you torture this guy, right? I suspect you underestimated the importance and intensity of our department's responsibilities. As you may have learned during orienteering, our department handles the physical intervention components of replacement procedures. This can mean abducting high-priority targets, securing volatile assets, or even assassinating potential nuances. Relatively standard liquidation procedures, really. Our true goal is much simpler and more compassionate. However, furthermore, it actually predates Smyrna Corp's configuration into a corporate entity. The supervisor gestures to customer, who seems utterly unperturbed by your conversation or his state of belted bondage. If anything, he mostly seems to be wondering why you haven't started yet. There are people in this world for whom society is a prison. Be it due to chase, criminal records, marital dissatisfaction, or financial status, many seek to escape their fate and start over with this clean slate. To embrace the right to be forgotten in a world that is always keeping track of everything we've ever done. From innocuous pictures on social media to birth certificates or social security numbers. In other words, this department doesn't only dispose of company enemies, it also performs procedures necessary to erase willing participants from their current lives, ensuring that they remain untraceable by eliminating all possible evidence of their existence from the world. And sometimes that involves removing a client's teeth, so that no one can track them down with dental records we failed to delete. What? Damn, they do the dirty, dirty work. Oh, this is dark. Holy shit. Unfortunately, as you may have guessed by the state of his molars, Theodore suffers great psychological trauma relative to invasive buccal procedures. Hence, despite his extreme willingness to undergo full evaporation, I anticipate the process will be rather difficult. He's right, you know. Me and dentists do not get along, so I'm probably gonna squirm an awful lot. Though the middle-aged customer is smiling, his nails have sunk into the chair's armrests. Already braced for pain, Cold sweat thicker than hair gel slicks down his unkempt beard and makes his forehead glisten like a funhouse mirror. A shiver runs through your body, but you cannot tell what scares you more. The fact you might be forced to subject someone to atrocity, or the fact someone would suffer it so enthusiastically. The average human being has 32 teeth. The fact that theaters are rotten might make them easier to remove, but that's still a lot of slow, deliberate violence to inflict on another person. And even if you're strong enough to remove every single one, there's no promise you can stomach so much cruelty without passing out. Besides, even if the fate of the world depends on this evaporation certificate, can you really go through with this? The department's stoic supervisor stares you down, awaiting the answer to that question. That's crazy. I don't think I'll ask for time, because he's like, well, chop chop, get going. So I'm gonna choose there's no choice. Tell Kazuo you agreed to help perform the procedure. Your blood goes cold. Your hands are shaking. You're sweating as much as Theodore, but if this is your only chance to take down Smyrna Corp, doing the impossible is a small price to pay. Although Kazuo's expressions remains impassive, you get the sense he might be smiling. Glad I can count on your cooperation. Smyrna Corp would be a far kinder place if more people had your breed of compassion and courage. The old man gestures to some paperwork pinned to a corkboard on the wall. Rather than pins or thumbtacks, the company-issued forms are held in place with bladed weapons ranging from unfurled butterfly knives to triple-pronged medical instruments. I'll be sorting through my latest reports. Let me know if you have any questions, or signal me once you're ready to begin. Feel free to converse with Mr. Zadrunsky, or to peruse his cease file as well. Perhaps you might unearth information that could aid our coming process. And with that, the stoic supervisor is gone, leaving Theodore strapped to the dental chair, unable to escape. His blank eyes dart from side to side, his happy smile growing a bit anxious. So, what now? Good question. That's crazy. What should we do? Chat with Theodore. He won't be able to speak for long. Kazuo and the evaporation department are total enigmas. Ask him about both. The briefcase case file contains crucial information. Best to take a look. It's time. Tell Kazuo you're ready to begin. Take a look at the documents pinned to the peg wall. What happens if we look at the briefcase case file? Knowledge is power, and you specifically want the power to not pull a man's teeth out. There's a chance this case file only contains tips on how to better butcher Theodore's maw, or overly invasive trivia about his private life. But you'll take what you can get. The chromed briefcase is surprisingly heavy, even though it contains only paper. The file Kazuo mentioned must be borderline encyclopedic. I'm going to start driving, but I'll be listening to you. Thank you for lurking, and have a safe trip to where you're going. Drive safely. It's gonna be a audiobook at this point. Thank you for coming by to listen to my audiobook. And there's a helicopter going by. I'll wait a bit. Okay, it's gone. Okay. They looking for you. Oh shit. Oh shit, weeping. Oh no. Okay, where am I? No way to tell for sure though. Safe travels. Yeah, safe travels. The briefcase itself is armor plated, reinforced to deter deter unwanted intrusions, and its hefty combination lock appears just as unassailable as the one that kept the locker barred. Oh my god. Well, except for one part, that is. The lock shackle bolt is chipped and rusting, even older looking than the rest of the department's dust-smeared decor. Orange smears stain your fingers as you try to wiggle it loose, as if it were bleeding from a near-lethal wound. You could probably use pure brawn to snap this thing in half with a well-placed stomp, and save yourself some headaches. But Kuraoka might not appreciate you treating company property with such recklessness. I doubt we're gonna get the code. I mean, we can try entering a code. The only code we have so far is 7862, right? You get on if you get on Kuraka's bad side, you could jeopardize your odds of certification. And by extension, your odds of saving the world a little extra efficiency isn't exactly worth it. Cracking your knuckles, you ready yourself to fiddle with the keypad instead. Alright, I don't know how this... How do we do this? There's a few numbers. After typing in your attempted password, the padlock suddenly begins emitting an ominous ticking sound. Ah, great. Fearing that you triggered some sort of self-destruct countdown, you pressed a button in a panic, hoping to stop the process. But all of them had become completely unresponsive. Not a bomb then, just a lockout timer, meant to discourage ambiguous burglars. Might be wiser to look for clues, otherwise you could end up wasting hours trying to crack this thing open. And if that happens, well, let's just say it'll be like pulling teeth. I feel like at this point I should pull. I feel like I shouldn't wait. I feel like I should just pull it. Come back once you find the code. Give it another chance. Give it a second. Sorry about that. Alright. It's crazy. Come back once you find the code. Yeah, I doubt it. This is pointless without at least a portion of the password pre-deciphered. You better leave and look for it. Or at least connive a sounder strategy. Whatever you do, you better do it fast. Kazuo looks impatient, and he wait forever. Okay. I think I'm curious. I kind of want to ask Kazuo about the department itself. Spurna Corps prioritizes covert operations and employees who perform their grisly work with unquestioning, unfeeling obedience. Kazuo, meanwhile, genuinely cares about his job and the people affected by it. Hard to tell if that's comforting when so many of those people dead. You tiptoe towards the assassin, careful not to make a sound. Cold sweat trickles down your face as you watch him absent-mindedly twirl a butterfly knife, snipping apart a piece of paperwork like an automatic shredder. Sensing your approach, he abruptly about-faces, snatching the scraps of paper mid-air and stuffing them down his lab coat's pocket. Still twirling his weapon about, he stares you down, eyes impassive, yet impatient. Something you were curious about? Or are you ready to get started? Transfixed by the still swirling dagger, you swallow hard. tugging at your turtleneck taut collar. Hopefully your questions will make this stone-cold killer want to cut you instead. Oh. Wait. Tell me about yourself. How did you become a corporate hitman? Can you tell me more about the department? Its whole purpose seems vague. Do we have to do this to Theodore? Aren't there less drastic ways to evaporate them? How do I unlock briefcase containing Theodore's case file? Will he give us it? I almost wanted to be like, do you have it? Because how else are we gonna get it? Your attempts at cracking the code have gotten you nowhere. And despite Kazuo insisting that the case file within contains information relevant to the procedure, he seems rather reluctant to help you open it. I'm afraid I cannot answer that, New Blood. I did not choose this locker's password. Theodore did. And I would sooner commit self-decapitation than betray my client's right to secrecy, even in such a minor way. If you really need to access this file, I suggest you engage in conversation with the man in question, and pay careful attention to his words. You'll learn a valuable lesson about compassion in the process, because only those who truly care about evaporation deserve my certification. Okay, well, so much for that. It's going to be awkward making small talk with a stranger you could soon be mutilating, but better to learn about your victims before you hurt him. If you're lucky, you'll even unearth a clue that could keep you from performing this torturous procedure. Do you intend to sit there and ruminate? Ask me what you need to know or leave. We're on a tight schedule. This whole department seems vague. Tell me about yourself. What if we ask him about himself? You think he'll answer? Let's try. Asking coworkers how they got their job is usually less dramatic. Upon hearing your questions, Kazuo's narrow eyes thinned themselves into harsher slits, the glare sharper than any weapon he's pinned to the nearby wall. Hitman? Corporate? Don't insult me, New Blood. I may be a contract killer by circumstance, but I remain a humanitarian at heart. And I do so in spite of the capitalistic animals whose corrupt what Smyrna Corp used to be. The old man's cold anger feels like a garrote wire pressing against your neck. Scared and struggling to breathe, you babble out incoherent apologies, unsure what sparks such sudden hatred. Noticing your confusion, Karoka lets out a deep sigh. Soon his eyes are no longer sharp with anger, but appear dulled by melancholic nostalgia. In my home country, there are those we refer to as johatsu, people who pay private companies to vanish from society without a trace, hoping to begin a new existence, freed from the burdens of the old. Sometimes they are office workers escaping a business that will overwork them to death. Others are merely criminals wishing to wipe the record clean of their younger selves' past sins. Most are merely hopeless souls looking to commit unaliving without making their families realize love was insufficient. Thousands of us are reported missing every year, and not just because of Smyrna Corp. Thousands of us? Does he mean... Indeed. Decades ago, I sacrificed my career and dignity to become Johatsu, and it was the best decision my past self ever made. No longer was I trapped working for a cause I could not believe in. No longer was I shackled to a lover I did not care for. No longer did I practice tying knots to hang myself in our kitchen. I could simply be what I wanted to be, without the burden of expectation, and more than anything, I wanted to become the kind of person who could provide the same fresh start those evaporators had provided me. That is why I enrolled as a member of Gertrude's Borodine's Humane Society, the original Smyrna Corp. Is he implying the companies actually used to be a nice place to work for? After all you've witnessed, a humane society feels like a flat-out lie. But the longing in Kazuo's eyes is impossible to overlook. He yearns for that unlikely past with the fervor of a lover mourning their lost soulmate. Maybe you should learn more about this Borodine person. Borodine. That's crazy. It's the people they put in as leaders after initial setup. It's crazy. Like, obviously, Smyrna Corp has changed ever since, you know, the 99s, according to him. I feel like if we touch on a subject he's very passionate about, he will talk to us more. What was Borodine's humane society? It sounds inspiring. Though you remain skeptical about this Gertrude woman's selfless intentions, it's hard to deny just how fondly Kazuo regards his former leader's mission, nor how tainted he thinks her legacy too has become. But this could be false propaganda too. This could only be his experience, to be honest. We are trying to get to his most like passionate part so that we could earn his trust and to get the certificate and get more information on this person. Ms. Borodine was a woman of tremendous vision and boundless compassion. Her actions were not guided by a bottom line nor by potential control of the world, and that made all the difference. In her eyes, humanity's increasing reliance upon technology could compromise the concept individual privacy, which would in turn transform the components of citizen identity into assets ripe for exploitation, a foe that could not be vanquished with the scientific advancement alone. To the end, she created the Smyrna Society, an organization dedicated to preserving human freedom and access to non-digitized information. Oh, that's interesting. They spell organization the way, like, I think Europe would spell it, maybe? Or European. English. Quite interesting. A haven against the obfuscation of an increasingly post-truth world. Gertrude strove to provide evaporation services to people seeking better lives. To preserve historical information certain governments would see forgotten. And we, her followers, were glad to serve that ambition. An unexpected smile blossoms across Kazuo's brightening face, his hard features softening into those of a man less accustomed to violence. His eyes drifted towards the name tag pinned under his lab coat, studying its angelic Art Deco design. His smile wilts as he remembers what it used to look like, what it used to represent. Sadly, the operating costs for such a complex, rapidly expanding organization ballooned at incomprehensible speeds. Soon, we had no choice but to explore private revenue streams to sustain our operations. And as that clientele grew, so too did our mission statement grow increasingly unrecognizable. We began evaporating rebellious individuals against their consent, rewriting knowledge we once safeguarded to whitewash dark chapters of history, raising replacements inside laboratories to pursue profitably over humanity, a defilement of everything the Smyrna Society once stood for. Gertrude no longer held the reins of her creation, nor did anyone else really. The damage done to humanity was already too great, and those in positions of leadership grew too avaricious, Avaxius. Oh my god. How do you say this word? I'm gonna find out. Let's see. That avaricious. Oh my god, this avaricious. Right. Where am I? Avaricious to consider salvaging what remained. Thus, rather than remain partisan to a non-monstrous initiative, Borodine and her followers choose to evaporate themselves. They wish to be forgotten by history for the crimes they committed against it. It's kind of like trying to get rid of yourself and not hold yourself accountable, but instead of fixing things or instead of trying to prevent things from happening, they just be like, okay, we're gonna erase ourselves so nobody knows about us and what we did. It's almost like a form of running away and not facing what they did to society. But I digress. Only I remain now, trying to provide what little compassion I can while working within a company that craves control above all else. One might call my endeavor foolish, since I was abide by Smyrna Corp's directives, but I would rather commit great evil for the sake of good than sit back and do neither, as I had in my past life. Sheesh. No wonder he felt so strongly about maintaining empathy in his line of work. Though you're not sure you agree with Kurako's methods, it's hard not to determine his dedication, nor to pity his lost cause. In fact, you've noticed a martyr-like trend of self-loathing in the way he speaks, the kind often found in gifted children who are bullied by their peers, before suddenly being exposed to intellectual obstacles they cannot overcome through talent alone. It's possible Kurako sees himself as the last bastion of Borodine's original mission, and to fulfill his duty, he's become predisposed to unnecessarily excessive measures, primarily intended to prove his own devotion to himself. But if you find a better way to embody Borodine's principles, you might be able to talk him out of pulling Theodore's teeth. Ooh. Which was this one? If Borodine doesn't run the company, who the hell is in charge? How old is the Smyrna Society anyway? Why the Smyrna Society does that word? Anything Smyrna? Why did you choose to get evaporated? I want to know who's in charge right now. A company this big and this influential should definitely have a board of directors, or at least a CEO, but where and who? Could it be one of Gertrude's former followers? A supervisor like Obuya? A collective of world leaders? Kazuo rolls his eyes, shoulders slouching as he stares at a row of portraits framed upon a distant wall. The photographs' faces range from acne-riddled teenagers to cartoonishly charming grandmothers wearing wooden shawls. You suspect most of them are people who no longer exist. Listen well, new blood. I've been doing this job for a very, very long time, and I've asked myself that very question quite a few times. Not once have I uncovered a satisfying answer. Wait, does he mean he isn't sure who runs the show either? But he's a supervisor. How can he not know where his orders are coming from? This whole company should have been imploded 1,000 times over by now. As a mix of panic and outrage floods your system, Kazuo clears his throat with a sound like sharpened sabers slipping free of their scabbards. Do not be naive. Many corporations keep their true hierarchies concealed for the benefit of privacy. And since Smyrna Corp controls so many private assets, so many people across the planet, this level of obfuscation is imperative for its survival. That having been said, I've been here since the days of Gertrude Borodine. I've seen her life's work restructured into an engine of capitalism in real time. And even I could not identify those who sit atop the corporate ladder, nor even tell you how many rungs the ladder has. Now that's crazy. Telling me that you don't know who's running this show, and you're working for them for so long, and you're like working for the original boss for like a long time, and still don't know? Are we in deep trouble? We're in danger. So much danger than we think we are right now, I think. That's crazy. To be frank, there are times when I look at this company's nonsensical decisions or at its recent obsession with radium, and I wonder, what kind of person could concoct such an incoherent combination of contradictory choices, intentionally or otherwise? Are there many leaders steering the ship, all individually vying for supremacy? Are they creating an infinite feedback loop so their services are always in demand? Or perhaps, is there no one sitting atop the throne, leaving the kingdom to bleed itself dry? As demented as such scenario seems, there's clearly an imbalance of power going on at top. Maybe L plans to exploit some weakness inherent to Smyrna Corp's executive structure in order to take it down. Squeezing your hand to muffle your thought, detecting microchips beeping, you decided to change the subject. Okay, let's circle back to this later. There's something else I wanted to ask. Kazuo is giving you a lot to process, and he's still processing this stuff himself. You both need a breather. Luckily, there's plenty more you need to know. Let's see. Do we have to do this? No matter how badly Zadrewski wants a fresh start, there must be some alternative that would spare him excess pain. Plus, you really don't want to touch those molding composed clumps his teeth has become, with or without pliers. Like, can't you at least give him anesthetic? Kazuo's firm expression does not waver, but you do notice the nerves in his neck go tauter than drawn bowstring. It seems you've offended him, previously no less. You'd have been better off spitting in his mother's face during an open casket funeral, one you were specifically not invited to, nor dressed appropriately for. Oh no, I realize you're still unfamiliar with our craft, so I will not hold this suggestion against you. But understand that your request is tantamount to travesty. Firstly, providing an aesthetic would go against our department's historic values of providing consensual self-erasure. During a procedure as drastic and dramatic as evaporation, it is perfectly natural for a client to lose faith in their decision, whether due to suffering or second thoughts. But anesthetic denies the possibility of backing out in the heat of the moment. And considering Theodore's aversion to orally invasive interferences, it is imperative we provide him these opportunities. Secondly, I would ask you to consider how much pain this man willingly put himself through already, whether by the removal of his fingerprints or by being forced to leave loved ones behind without goodbyes. Evaporation is an intensely punishing experience, even for most determined souls. If we, the technicians Theodore entrusted his fate to, suddenly balked at a fraction of the agony he's endured, his faith in our process would be annihilated, failing to match his determination or failing to remain stoic when he needs reassurance most. That would only insult his sacrifice and make this disturbing experience even more difficult to bear. That is some crazy thing to spout out of your mouth, sir. This is crazy. To think that you have to think this way is absolutely insane. It's kind of crazy. No wonder this is so psychological. It's kind of crazy. With the tired side of an old man who has worked a hard job for too long, a wave of exhaustion seems to sweep over Kazuo. He suddenly looks his age. He sags beneath the weight of his lab coat, and the knives he once wielded deftly look too heavy for his wrinkles. I understand your reluctance to harm an innocent man, but duty demands us to do what must be done, and I would like to see mine performed with discipline, rather than self-serving cowardice. Seems the guy really does care about treating his clients with empathy. Whether or not it's a sane form of empathy is definitely up for debate, but it's better than you would have expected from this deranged office. That being said, Kazuo clearly has some unresolved baggage when it comes to maintaining an aura of sanctity and professionalism during these gruesome procedures. He's hyper-fixated on doing things the old-fashioned way. And for better and for worse, which means there could be an alternative approach to erasing Theodore's dental records he hasn't fully considered. Okay, I think I'll end the conversation for now. With a curt nod, Kazuo returns to his peculiar paperwork. Using a blood-rusted ice pick, he rapidly pokes through a sheet of cardboard, as if puncturing a punch card's holes by hand. Hopefully, he'll never poke at you that way. Regardless, your inquiries reveal the man isn't as cold-hearted as he seems. He's clearly just desperate to do his job right, and bases a lot of his self-worth on performing successful evaporations. If you could prove that removing Theodore's teeth is unnecessary, you might be able to talk Krako out of his old, overly violent habits. Easier said than done, perhaps, but possible nevertheless. Okay. Let's, chat with Theodore, because I feel like we might be able to get the code, maybe? It's not normal every day you meet a normal citizen, Shadow Corporation's most secretive sector, let alone one who's happy to be here. How he ended up at Smyrna Corp and why he's so gung-ho about leaving his old life behind will probably make for quite the story. You approach Mr. Zadruskinski, who, despite being strapped to the dentistry chair, appears at complete ease. You give him a nervous wave hello, but the red-haired customer only reacts to the greeting when you start to cough on his palpably foul breath. Can he not see you? Hey there, stranger. Were you coming to do prep work for my evaporation thingy? I can't wait to get started. Man, he really is looking forward to this, huh? Or he's looking forward to it being over? Anyway, because his glazed eyes keep darting towards the pliers in your hand, no doubt dreading their intended purpose. At least you two have that in common. You clarify you're only here to learn more about your soon-to-be patient, rather than appear disappointed. The middle-aged fellow seems more than willing to lend assistance. Sure, ask away. It's pretty easy to become an open book when all your pages are about to become blank. Would it be crazy to just say, but he doesn't know me. Tell me about yourself. Why are you going through this procedure? According to Kazuo, willful self-evaporation isn't something people choose on a whim. It's quite literally life-changing. But why would someone so genuinely joyful go through with this? What kind of calamity could have driven Theodore into this corner? Ha! If you think I look happy, it must be because I'm about to be freed from a life that never let me be happy. I won't give you the whole sob story. It's too boring to bother telling. But But to keep things short, I was born abroad, then moved here after my mom left my dad for being an abusive asshat, after which he began to beat me. Then, I hopped between foster homes a few times, tried to become an artist, failed, got married to someone I didn't love, had 2 kids I never wanted. The usual. Other than that, my only pride and joy was the shop I opened. A grocery store right at the edge of town. 5530, foods and fruits, freshest in the West End. That's how I answered the phone, you know? About 50 times a day, 7 days a week. For 23 years, I don't know if I'll ever stop answering calls that way. No matter what Kazuo does to me. That is crazy. Crazy. Oop, right? Oh my god. Anyway, after a while, I couldn't take it anymore. Never following my dreams. Unliving myself with overwork just to feed kids who never liked me. And a wife who cheated behind my back. Felt like a zombie. Heck, I was even less than a zombie. At least those things crave brains. I didn't even crave death enough to kill myself. I mean, to unalive myself. Oh my god. Anyway, I started looking for ways out. Divorce lawyers, blank loans, fake passports, you name it. But none of it seemed right. There was always something holding me back from completely starting over. There was silence as you struggled to digest this unpalatable taste. You can tell the man's grief is genuine, his desperation real. And if you had been in his place, you're not entirely convinced you would have chosen differently. Some people perhaps need something like Smyrna Corp to escape their lives, minus the lobotomies and the attempts to eliminate free will, that is. Anyway, that's all water under the bridge. Ever since I got scouted by Smyrna Corp, I've been living my best life. And once my evaporation's done, I'll be living an even better one. Well, at least his good mood is back, but there's still a few uncertainties nagging at. Let's see. Hold on, you were scouted by Smyrna Corp? How? I'm kind of curious. He says it's so matter-of-factly, considering you didn't know the company existed until a few days ago. You have no idea how they reached out to Theodore without being discovered, let alone how they stopped him from babbling about it. Oh right, you would know about that either. Based on what Kurako told me, Smyrna Corp uses these folks called doppelgang members as like spies or something. I had a hard time following that part of his spiel, honestly. Anyway, one of them must have caught me looking up bootleg passport online because I got a call from a company rep asking if I was interested in qualifying for a Fresh Start program. So, I came into their office, signed a few things, answered a few questionnaires, got labeled as a non-threat by some risk assessment team, and here we are now. Pretty nifty, right? Jesus Christ! He was looking for bootleg passports online and then got approached by Smyrna Corp. These people are scary. These people working in this whole company is insane. Oh my god. You force yourself to nod along, careful not to alarm the easygoing Theodore, but your mind is already racing, picturing what they would have done if those tests had labeled him as dangerous. Something tells you it would either involve a microchip or a bone saw to the dome. More concerning, however, is just how many eyes and ears Smyrna Corp must have posted all over the world. Yeah, that too. Jesus Christ. If they can survey so many people down to their most minute interactions, no doubt their information network will grow even vaster once the Radium Incorporated deal goes through. Huh. Why name your grocery store after a number? Theodore writhes uncomfortably beneath the Kevlar belts as if finally realizing how tight they are. He bites his lip, flustered, his rotten teeth staining the pale skin with brown. It was just a stupid mistake I made while filling out paperwork. I got two of the columns mixed up and ended up listing the address number as the business name instead. Funny though, isn't it? It was just one teensy tiny typo made somewhere around 3 a.m. while trying to rock my daughter back to sleep. And it ended up haunting me for almost 20 years. What was it again? 50... 5530 might be the number now. Okay. I think we got it, guys. 5530 Foods and Fruits, freshest in the West End. It's the background music in my nightmares at this point, but it's also the only thing I ever did right in life. Even if it was built on a foundation of sloppy spell checking and slightly unripe mangoes, but silly me to be mourning that storm more than my own kids, isn't it? Silly feels like a euphemism, knowing Theodore still had some attachments to his past life. Bittersweet as it may be, does humanize him a little bit. But the fact he didn't care much for the daughter he'd been rocking to sleep takes that humanity away. Either way, there is something intriguing about this 5330 situation. Maybe Fruits and Fruits mislabeled street numbers could be the meaningful one Graco said would open the briefcase. 5530. You thank Theodore for sharing his story, but he's quick to claim it was no big deal. If anything, he should be thanking you for keeping a tight fellow company. Trying not to retch on the smell stench of his laugh, you pursue your interrogation with watering eyes. 5530. Let me ask the briefcase now. You figure he'd be forthcoming, considering his procedure is at stake. Yet as if remembering an inside joke made at your expense, the man's rotting smile contorts into a smug grin. Sorry, Mr. Kurako told me I'm not allowed to answer that. Said it would help teach other employees to practice empathy and active listening. If you want the answers, you have to pay attention to what I say and guess the answer. We kinda did, so. Thank you for now. You wave Theodore goodbye. Instinctively, the tongue and your chops make sure his own teeth are still in place and not going anywhere. Okay. Let's try it again. The briefcase. $55. There we go. With neither warning nor specular flourish, the combination lock whirls open, then thumps into the carpeted floor. As though gasping its last breath, the briefcase yawns open, revealing a fat manila file stuffed full of documentation detailing Zadrazinski's life. Precious in the West End indeed. If it weren't for Theodore's impending evaporation, you offered to become 5530 Foods and Fruits' most loyal customer as thanks for this. You reach into the briefcase and retrieve the massive collection of barely held together medical reports and interview transcripts. There's at least 10 pounds worth of paper to pour through. Wow. Security clearance level. The files are equal parts informative and gibberish. Most appear to cover the preliminary evaluations Zadrazinski underwent pre-evaporation, and the thoroughness with which Kuraka carried them all out. There is, however, one specific detail in the case file that surprises you. Known dental history. Not available. Theodore, it appears, never had any dental records to begin with. That would definitely explain how his composed brown chompers managed to degenerate that badly. But it doesn't explain what caused the neglect to begin with. More perplexing, however, is why Kazuo is so determined to mangle his patient's jaws if there's no way for him to be tracked down through dental profiling. Is it a mistake? Or something he willingly overlooked? Based on your prior conversations, you suspect the supervisor might be desperate to perform his procedures properly, to meet some impossible standard of quality he set for himself. But if you can convince him that sparing Theodore would yield the best evaporation possible, he might reward your empathy with more than just justification. Assuming you even can convince him, of course. Huh. Okay. Well. Fuck it. As you confirm your intentions to get this stomach-churning certification over with, you see Zadrinsky wriggled in his seat. He looks both thrilled and horrified that the time has come. His supervisor, meanwhile, remains coldly dutiful. I was beginning to worry your resolve would never be sufficiently steeled, but I'm glad to see my expectations surpassed. With a look of icy purpose, Kazuo refastens the metallic device around Theodore's jaw, prying them open and locking them in place. Both gnarled steel and Zadrushinsky let out a strange whine, his putrid teeth now put on full display. The once smiling man trembles, tears leaking from his milky eyes, waves of bad breath potent as knockout gas hit you one after another as he starts to hyperventilate. His nails rake the armrests of his dentistry chair, finding purchase in the tattered upholstery. As if countless others have clawed at it before him in a futile bid to escape. Kuraka nods as the pliers in your fists urging to give Theodore a reason to start clawing harder. I'll keep him from thrashing as best as I can. The removal itself won't be difficult when his teeth are so decayed, but you'll still be causing extreme pain with every single pull. Be strong, brave yourself, and remember why we're doing this. Theodore's whimpers grow louder. His shrill breaths coming faster and faster. If he's trying to tell you something, you can't make out the words. A high-pitched ringing rises in your ears like an alarm siren meant to keep you from engaging in this nightmare. Are you ready to begin the evaporation? Okay, we'll do it. It's the only way to get the certification. Getting the words out almost makes you sick. The sour taste of gastric bile tickles the back of your tongue. As the horror of what's about to happen speeds up your hectic heartbeat, Kuraka meanwhile appears calmer than ever. Very well. Approach. You sheepishly slide your feet forward, flinching as the supervisor makes the final adjustments to his patient's dental apparatus. Theodore flinches much like you do, his milky gaze fixated on the instrument dangling from your hand. And yet, despite his gagging moans and shrill inhalations, you hear him laugh, ever so faintly, half terrified of the pain to come, half ecstatic at the thought of freedom. All he has to do is suffer, 32 times in a row. You worry you won't be strong enough to endure the nightmare as long as he will. In a single smooth and practiced motion, Kazuo slips his fingers through Theodore's hair and grabs hold a fistful. He jerks his head back with great force, bracing it in place. Then, with almost paternal tenderness, the elderly lab coat-clad man whispers a question into his patient's ear. Mr. Zadrushinsky, do you consent to this extraction? A choked gurgle creeps up Theodore's throat. A wordless feral noise replete with enthusiastic acquiescence. Pleased or perhaps even proud, Kazuo gives you an order. Start with the leftmost upper molar, pull hard. And so it begins. Your fists tremble as your pliers are shoved down Zatrinsky's gullet. The man reaves and retches, but Kuraka holds him firmly in place. You fumble about the saliva-stained darkness, searching for the first of many teeth. you scrunch your eyelids and tighten your pliers, only the latter are met with firm resistance. You take a deep breath, hoping Theodore's rancid breath will somehow knock you out and spare you this atrocity. Yet you remain cautious and hear Kazuo's command clearly. Now. Oh god. You tug with all your might. Instantly, Theodore begins screaming, his voice becoming a gargled shriek you've never heard a human make. You want him to be quiet, yet the molar remains stuck in place. Oh. You pull harder. Again, again, again. Your arm hurts. Your ear rings. Your heartbeat feels like it could break your ribs. Sadrinsky's bloody spittle is hot against your face. And then, the sound is like crunching porcelain and squelching unctuous mud. You stumble back as the resistance you fought against so fervently abruptly disappears. The sensation reminds you of yanking a rusty nail out of a not-so-sturdy wall. Theodore's screams have turned to sobs as he chokes on the tatters of his own mangled gums. Kazuo hushes him gently, stroking his receding hair. Your eyes pry themselves open to behold your dreadful work. A tooth rests in your pliers, brackish, black, and rotten. The bloody roots curl in on themselves like the legs of a dead spider. Your throat ties itself into knots, forming a dam to block the tide of your vomit gushing up your gullet. You toss the tooth aside. Before your mind can drift any further, it lands like a catrope, hidden in the sepia carpet. You can do this. You have to. Mr. Zadrusinski, do you still consent to this extraction? Somewhere amidst the tears and retching, another unspoken yes is heard. Kazuo nods your way again, his eyes conveying a bleak reminder. 1 down, 31 to go. That's wow. We're gonna keep on going with that. Your certification depends on this, and believing in yourself is half the battle. If Theodore can endure this, you can too. Besides, no point in backing down when your hands are already dirty. Speaking of which, you really should be wearing gloves. A hint of admiration curves across Kuroka's impassive face. Though he doesn't share your fear, he clearly respects your show of resolve in the face of such horrors. Here's hoping you keep that respect, and don't have a breakdown halfway through. You reach back into his mouth, fumbling for his next molar. His sobbing breaths are thick as syrup as they brush against your skin. The stink makes your face burn and itch. Your patient scrunches his eyes shut, moaning for you to get it over with. You squeeze hard, breathe deep, and oblige him. With a viscid noise and a sickening crack, the next molar comes free, far more easily and far more messily than the first. Theodore wails in agony, straining against his belt and Kazuo's embrace. As you hold up his caved-in-toothed, gory remains, you want to wail with him. The pliers have crushed the thing's putrid enamel into brown shards, their texture reminding you of sodden driftwood. Pitch-black pulp leaks from the cracks and drips onto the floor. This isn't merely tooth decay. It's outright dental necrosis. And judging by the scent of sulfur wafting from Zadruzinski's maw, there's plenty more dead teeth to find. That's crazy. This can get kind of a lot for some people, so just trigger warning. Your stomach churns, your eyelids flicker. Your conscience calls you a monster until shame knots your organs into the intestinal equivalent of a meat-woven macram. Yet you toss the tooth aside and focus. You have plenty of time to throw up later. Right now, you have to show Kazuo what you're made of. Mr. Zajuski, do you still consent to? The patient interrupts him with a gurgling, bestial moan. Bestial moan? It almost sounds like a prayer to keep going, before terror makes him change his mind. Kazuo gives you another nod, urging you to act quickly. Get it done with dignity. Here we go. Steadying your breath, steeling your resolve, you let adrenaline take over, silencing the alarm bells ringing in your head. An innocent person's future depends on your performance, and so does the very concept of free will. You need to get this right. Chuckling, Kazuo regards your determination with considerable contentment. Regardless of your qualities as an impromptu dentist, you've at least made him admire your commitment to proper evaporation. Theodore, meanwhile, mostly regards you with impatience and abhorrence. Blood pumping, you shove your pliers back into Theodore's maw and clamp around his third to last molar on your very first try. You hope this doesn't mean you're getting good at this. Just like before, you tighten your grip, clench your muscles, and nothing. Theodore still squirms with pain, and Kazuo definitely fights to keep him immobile, but the tooth doesn't even wiggle. The furcation of the roots must be especially unusual on that one. You'll have to put your back into it. Though the supervisor is deathly calm, his client is anything but. Zadrinsky sobs and sputters bloody spit, moaning some incomprehensible plea, but he doesn't tell you to stop either. Grabbing the pliers with both hands, you squeeze even tighter until you fear the tooth could pop like glass. Then, gritting your own teeth, you strain as hard as you can. But there was no give whatsoever. It's like stone, maybe even steel. Theodore begins squealing and the sound feels like barbed wire running through your bloodstream. Kazuo wraps the forearm around the weeping man's neck, almost choke-holding him in place, shouting a half-comprehensible order to hurry before he changes his mind. No point holding back, it seems. Time to prove what you're really made of. You brace your heel against the dentistry chair, readying yourself to use the full force of both arms, legs, and back combined. Then with a cry of effort, you give the tooth a desperate jerk. You're sent stumbling to the ground as something tears from Theodore's mouth. The man's jaw unhinges to bellow agony, but only the faintest squeaks escape his throat. He thrashes harder than ever, threatening to rip right through his Kevlar restraints. Blood cascades from his quivering lips, painting the chair and Kuraka's arms with dark scarlet. The culprit of that crimson waterfall now lies in your pliers. This tooth, unlike its siblings, is sulfur yellow rather than tobacco brown, which might explain the sturdiness. The more likely reason, however, are its peculiar roots. Rather than curl straight up, they sprawl outward, like the hooked petals of a blooming flower. And it must be one hell of a flower to pluck. Died. Because strands of Zadrunsky's gums dangle from each pointed tip. As you stare at it, transfixed, a single strap of buccal flesh slips off and lands on the back of your bare hand. It feels wet, warm, slippery, a sensation that reminds you of holding a healthy earthworm. And that's when you hit your limit. You demonstrated unparalleled resilience until now, but this tiny flood of viscid sensation is the final nail to the coffin of your murdered mental health screw. Burning bile gushes past your lips as your pliers clatter to the ground. You hear Kazuo ask what's wrong as you begin to pass out. The last thing you see is a blood-stained sepia carpet colliding with your face. Time passes in peaceful silence. Maybe hours, Maybe minutes. Either way, you suspect you spent far too long sleeping. That was a lot. You're blinded by a too bright ceiling lamp. Its light the same dirty beige as the rest of the room. You dreamed of floating in vile, vicious water, and now you wake up to a sour smell clinging to your turtleneck. Most likely your own vomit soaking through the acrylic. Seems you're still in the evaporation department, only now it's surprisingly quiet, and there's no more rancid breath smell. Is theater gone? Straining to sit upright, you're immediately greeted by a statue's stiff Kazuo. He regards you with the arms crossed over his chest, crimson splotches smearing his lab coat like some postmodernist painter's canvas. For a moment, you wonder if he butchered theater like a pig while you were unconscious. Yet against all expectations, he flashes you a little smile, amused by your fearful reaction. Well, your physical health leaves a lot to be desired, but your willpower was certainly something to behold. You'll have to beg my pardon for not replacing your clothes with clean ones or placing you somewhere more comfortable. I had to ensure Theodore's procedure would be completed promptly. He's currently in the post-treatment infirmary indulging in painkiller, but he did ask me to send you his kindest regards. I think his enunciation was rather lacking after losing so many. Wait, so the procedure was a success even though you fainted? I'll confess, your tendency to faint at the sight of blood means I'm unlikely to reassign you to a similar procedure in the future. But the fact you kept giving your all, doing your best to maintain composure, so as not to alarm Theodore, that took tremendous willpower and tremendous consideration for our patient's well-being. One might even call the mark of a true evaporation representative. Well, that's pretty charitable interpretation of the situation, but you're not about to argue if Kazuo is satisfied. Then, without ceremony, Kazuo reaches for something beneath his lab coat and hands you a sheet of punctured cardboard with a proud smile. Beneath a thick layer of dust, the words "Evaporation Certification" are boldly inscribed in fade typeface. I do not understand why you needed this so badly, but you've more than earned it. Slip it into the elevator's punch card slot once you've collected the remainder. That should give you complete access to any area in this building. Furthermore, I believe you've proven yourself capable of owning something like this. With a whirring flourish of frighteningly fast night work, Kazuo draws a razor-sharp dagger from seemingly nowhere, twirling it with such absurd speed it practically becomes invisible. When the spinning finally stops, you're presented with an extremely lethal-looking weapon. That is crazy. But, except the old man's murder is present, I guess. The 6-inch blade is curved and attached to a brass knuckle-shaped hilt. A hoop at its pommel suggests it was designed for extra grip mid-shanking. The strangest part, however, is the glistening dark red paint job. It almost looks like blood. Yes, that's by design. This is a dissolvable karambit knife. Standard issue for all evaporation fuel operators. It melts down on contact with hemoglobin plasma, converting itself into a liquid distinct from the victim's blood. Oh my god, sharp enough to pierce 2-inch armor plating, yet totally untraceable upon use. I wouldn't trust just anyone with this, but you've earned mine in spades. I feel safer handing you this ornament than depriving you of its protection. So that's crazy. You accept the blade gratefully, careful not to cut yourself while taking it from Kuraka. Better not keep this in the same pocket as your certification, or you'll tear the cardboard to ribbons. Not to mention your own thighs. Hopefully, you'll never need to use this, but extra precaution won't go amiss in a place like Smyrna Corp. Your profile has changed, physical faculty. And we also have the knife and also the certificate. May it serve you rarely, and may it serve you well. On that note, hour grows late. I should finish filling Theodore's report to prepare for tomorrow's task. You, meanwhile, should return home and get some well-earned rest. Please feel free to visit again anytime you wish. Your spirit of kindness and self-sacrifice is always welcomed. Regain the trust of him. Thank Kazuo and tell him to give your best to Theodore. The evaporation supervisor bows, vowing he'll pass your feelings along, and offering you permanent employment should you ever choose to work in his department. By the time you've come up with a convincing excuse to never do such a thing, you're already out of earshot. Weaving past dying houseplants and dusty furnishings, you retrace your steps through the maze of convoluted hallways that first led you to this exhausting foray into evaporation. Thank goodness Kazuo interpreted your lack of brawn and trauma tolerance for well-meaning effort. That could have ended up a lot uglier if his opinion of you were any lower. At least you're walking out here with a certification to show for all that trouble. And the dissolvable knife was a nice bonus. Albeit a bit grisly. One down, 3 to go. Hopefully the other certificates won't be as hard to get. Boarding the office elevator, you key in the password to reach the lobby and prepare for your trip home. For no reason in particular, you find yourself extremely motivated to brush your teeth tonight. Chapter complete. Tuesday. Can we say? Okay. So, I think I should stop here. Because that was insane. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. I think we've entered in the game where it became very, very crazy. I cannot believe we reached this far. Thanks for being here for almost 3.5 hours of me just reading you this audiobook. It's crazy. Sorry, that was my straw. Lamau. Thank you for reading me gore on this car ride. Oh my god. No, thank you for listening to this podcast. Just kidding. That's crazy, guys. I gotta say, this game, the way everything is described, and all the characters' way of interacting with us, it's so interesting. It's so interesting, and it's like, you want to learn more about the character for sure. And there are times where you feel the empathy, right? Like Theodore and also Melodine. And surprisingly, Kazuo was very, like, he's very strict on what he does and he will stand by what he stands for. And that was really interesting too. Like, his character was just really, really cool too, actually. Not like, you know, like, I'll say, given the things he's gone through and everything like that, it's kind of interesting to look into his story a little bit more. And the gory part of it is just icing on the cake. It just makes this game even more interesting because you have to go through these situations in order to get the certificate. But we got our first certificate, and that's great. So I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of that game, and if you want to check it out, it is called Inhumane Resources. If you don't feel squeamish reading things like that, I highly suggest you try it out. So far I like the game a lot. I really like it a lot. Yeah, no, thank you guys for coming by. I really appreciate it. Let me see. who is free for some rating. Let's see. Let's see. Who is free? Wait a minute. Thanks for the stream, Vanny. Oh yeah, thanks, Neko. Thank you for coming by. I know it's not like Mahjong related, but I really appreciate you coming by. Even though it's not Mahjong related. You're awesome. And thank you guys for stopping by too. Great to see some friends stopping by, and it's great to see you guys are taking care of yourselves. I'm trying to figure out who to raid. Let's see. I got Jellyfish friend here is doing karaoke. Let me see what they're doing. Would you guys like some karaoke? 2000s weep song that make me crumble into dust karaoke. Is what they said. Hold on. Let's see. Let's see. Or who else can raid? There's a lot of people streaming today. Or would you like to see an art stream, guys? What top RP? I'm gonna send you guys to my friend who's doing. Oh wait, no, they disconnected. Oh no, they said my cat turned my PC off. Oh no. Oh no, wait, are they coming back though? Oh no. I'm sure they'll come back. Are you coming back? Please do, so I can rate you. That is. Oh, I'm so sorry, Shio. Yes, okay. Alright, so we're going to rate Shio. Shio is a jellyfish, and they're awesome. And they art, and they play games. And they're doing like a 2000s weep song karaoke thing, so I think it's really cool. So let's say hi to Shio. Loading up now. Okay, good. So they're loading up because their cat turned off their PC. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay. What is our rate message? Choco. Ray. It's me. Hi. Choco. Okay. So for the ones who don't have subs, I have this rate message here. And the one that do have subs, I got you. Cause I got some cute spooter emote suite. Like that. There you go. Ta-da! Okay. Alright. Let's say hi to Shio. And I'm glad that they're back so soon. Poor the kitty! The kitty turned off their PC. Okay. So, let's get ready to raid Shio. Thank you guys for hanging out with me that long today. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys had a blast, even though the content was a little bit schemish, but it is indeed a very, very interesting game if you haven't checked it out. Again, it's called Inhumane Resources. and a little bit of psychological horror, which I freaking love. Psychological horror. It's like one of my favorite genres to even like listen to podcasts or read or like play games like that with that type of genre. But let's give some support to Shio. If you like Shio's content, please give them a follow. And if you'd like to support them, please feel free to lurk. If you have the chance to do that, please lurk. So they're right now they are resetting their stream, which is working. Okay, great, it's working. All right, so I'll see you guys next time, and I hope you guys take care of yourself, stay safe, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye. For coming by.